Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
You are now listening to the Sunday Morning Breakfast Radio Show.
Good morning, good morning. Sorry for the slight delay. A few technical issues. The Sunday Morning Breakfast Radio Show coming to you live on Facebook Live and YouTube. Number to call in, 516-900-2278. We are the Weekend Review Show, and we do this every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. live. Once again, call us up. We have the usual suspects in studio. Bino, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Welcome back, everybody.
Dang, yeah, welcome back. What was it? Yeah, we took a week off.
Feels longer for some reason.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Voice. Oh, no, because we haven't. We'll get to her. Voice, how are you doing today, sir?
Don't ask me.
Okay, well, you got to get your life together.
Yeah, I gotta get my life
we
together.
figured that out.
Yeah.
And we have Crystal, who is back. Crystal, we missed you. Like
for 3 weeks. I really miss you guys too. I'm not even lying. I really miss you guys.
Wow.
It was 3 whole weeks.
Now, so where did you go for these?
So
you went on vacation?
No. 2 weeks I had to work at my job. So we had a fashion show on my actual birthday, which was the 22nd. Mm-hmm. Then last week we had the walk. Okay. So I had to be at work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the week in between that I went to Antigua. So we did a girls trip to Antigua for a couple of days.
I mean, there you go, traveling the world once again, man.
Oh, I just booked a ticket this morning.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to Barbados.
So you're not going to be here next week?
No. I'm going from a Monday to a Thursday.
Unbelievable, man. You don't not like us. I think that's quite apparent. She does not like us. I've been busy this week.
Yes, let's everybody. Whoa. Let's congratulate Preach on his newest addition here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What's his name? Jackson.
Not Hunter.
Not Jay Hunter. Yeah.
No, Jay. Yeah. So you can relax now.
Yeah. The weight has been lifted. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of the name, but obviously when the woman who's giving birth to the child makes a decision on a name, you don't have much leverage.
You up too, right?
Oh, of course, she does that on the regular, but you don't have much leverage in picking a name.
You know, somebody asked me that this week. Somebody was like, "Does Preacher's wife really beat him?" Like they were wild concerned.
Yes.
Yo, they had like the hotline number in their hand for me to give to you. They were wild concerned. But enough of that. Congrats to you. You know,
no, she really does. I mean, if you
please,
want to make this a domestic violence show, we can definitely do that. But no. So Saturday night, I had a feeling. I think we all were like, yo, this is going to happen. I said we could probably try to do the show from the hospital room.
Yeah, good luck with that. Number one. Look what you did to me. Yes.
Number two, you're such an asshole. But nah, man, it was an unbelievable experience. Obviously, baby number two. So, you know, shout out to her, man. Yo, she was a champ. Like, I got to give her a lot of credit. I got to give women a lot of credit because, listen, you know, you always see in the TV shows of women having contractions, and just this week I was watching the Fresh Prince episode where Aunt Viv was giving birth to baby Nikki, and she's holding hands and crushing hands. That's real. Okay, so Corinne grabs my hand. She has a contraction. I almost lose my hand. Okay, so
you had your ring on.
Yes, and so my hand, my fingers are getting crushed with my ring finger. So I was scared for my dear life. So anyway, they were coming fast, and this was a lot quicker than Mason, but she was a trooper. The pain she was going through was ridiculous. Yeah.
Is Mason excited?
Yeah, he's just kind of trying to figure out what's going on, but he's very excited, and he says Jackson's my baby. I'm like, no, it's actually mommy's, but whatever. But yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. She was amazing during the whole process. So shouts out to her. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yeah.
To your mothers and everybody's mothers out there. So
definitely.
Yes, Mom.
Yeah, man. So he's doing well. He's doing fine. Yeah, he looks just like Mason. When Mason was a baby, he looked.
I was just looking at the picture. I'm like,
heartwarming.
It's scary. It's scary.
Because Mason was a cute baby. Mason's definitely Gerber baby material.
Gerber baby material. Yeah. Yes. So, but no, they're both doing well, and yeah, it was crazy. There's nothing. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy scene. If you ever been, have you ever been in part of a childbirth?
No.
I have.
Yeah, you have. Okay,
right.
Yo, so wait. So you were in the room when everything happened, or
it was a natural birth though? It was a scheduled C-section.
Oh, it was a scheduled C-section.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask a question? No, you're just gonna skeeve people out. It's too early in the morning. It's a Sunday morning.
Ahead.
No, it's not for you. It's for everybody else who's watching, and this guy and her. And
I don't think it's that
I don't want to disgust anybody because it gets pretty graphic.
You don't see much. You don't see much.
So how was everybody else's week? How was your trip overall? You had a good time?
Oh, my trip was amazing. It was that was my first time in Antigua. It was a girls' trip with 9 women who I probably knew. Out of the other 8 women, I probably knew 3 of them.
Okay.
And we had not one like girl kind of don't like you, but everyone was peaceful. We got on the boat. I got really sick on the plane.
Okay.
Because, you know, they recycle that air. So I caught a really bad cold going into it. It was horrible. But other than that, we had a great time. I had no complaints. Antigua's amazing. The people are amazing. It was just a nice trip.
So, Voice, what has your week been like, man? And by the way, we're going to like 12:15, obviously, since we did have the late start. So don't bear with us. We're not cutting off at 12 o'clock. We'll go to a little bit over. Go to 12:15. How was your week, sir?
It was a little bit challenging, as you can see right now.
Yo, you come in here. You are full of stories, my friend.
I tell you, I'm trying to work on paying my bill at the same time I'm talking to you guys.
Now, granted, let me ask you a question, man.
After
Because
he told us he was all rich.
Well, here's the thing. I know. We don't.
I don't think that's rich.
Did you peep that?
Puff Daddy flossing.
No,
You
that's
know how
not
much
rich.
is in my bank account? You couldn't even pronounce the number, Bino.
With the number XXXXX.
What does that?
Frustration does.
Okay, Voice Gates.
I know. Man. So, by the way, you mentioned something last show about a merger that was going on between T-Mobile and Sprint.
Yes.
When I get home, I look on the news and they're saying,
And the headline says, Voice is no liar. We are actually merging, yes.
so the crazy thing is this is really happening, I guess.
really
I guess it
happening.
has to be approved and, you know, I think proper channels have to be met before anything happens. But this is a real thing, I guess.
Yeah.
At one time, wasn't it AT&T and T-Mobile, and then they stopped it?
Yeah, so at the time we were labeled as a bunch of crooks because we knew that the probability laws wouldn't allow them to do it, so they paid us $4 billion. And because of that, we're where we are today.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is Sprint going to turn to T-Mobile? T-Mobile.
Correct. They're going to put Sprint on the shelf.
Oh.
And the CEO of our company will be there. The CEO of Sprint, Marcelo Clare, he's going to be on the executive board seat, but we make all the decisions, and we'll be changing.
So what's happening with you?
You're Carol.
By the way, I know. It's
You're
what is,
Carol.
Oh, no, it's-
so what is it going to be called? Is it going to be T-Sprint?
No.
Or is it going to be Sprint Mobile? I don't know.
It's going to be named T-Mobile. It's publicly announced. It's going to still be named T-Mobile.
But you said that the stuff is going to be Sprint.
No,
No,
Sprint is
Sprint is
dissolving.
going to be on the shelf.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Nobody
you
likes
can
Sprint
be
anywhere.
Nope. No.
Sprint was mad petty.
Remember?
If you're a
2
penny.
cents,
Yeah, and
they
they'll
were
shut you off
Yeah.
real quick. Real quick. Nah, they're really petty. So listen, we hope everything goes well with
Oh,
you.
it will. They're gonna, and nobody's going to be losing their jobs.
Okay.
They're going to acquire all the employees. It's going to be about 270,000 employees.
Okay.
That means you have more people under your belt now?
Yeah, the reason why, because it makes no sense.
I become stronger.
Yes, exactly.
I become Thanos.
Yeah.
Yo, you ever hear him give his like leadership speeches and what he expects from his employees? Yo,
No,
it's the
I never
funniest
think
thing.
so.
That's like a 10-point plan of what he
Even
expects
real
from his
though,
employees.
you'd be
yo.
like,
nah, son, I'd be low key impressed, yo.
We saw it in action, and we were like,
Yes.
"Oh shit! Like this guy's really doing his thing."
thank you.
I've never seen it. I need to come by.
Oh, yo, it's no joke, yo.
You truly get motivated. But how was your 2 weeks, sir?
Well, not as exciting as mergers.
I know,
and
right?
vacations,
And
unfortunately.
babies.
Speaking of mergers, sir,
Oh, well,
yeah.
I mean, my merger's been in limbo for like 2 years here.
I just heard this morning that the
They're
president is
fighting.
blocking it.
Again?
The president's blocking it. so,
Whatever.
yeah.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
man. We keep it pushing. That's all we can do. Call us at 516-900-2278. Let's say good morning to everybody on the thread. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers
Yes.
who are on the thread.
Yes.
All right, so
Happy
let's
Mother's
start
Day.
that. Good morning, Corinne, the newest mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning,
It was
Goodit.
fun.
Good morning, Ziggs. Good morning, Carol Ross. Our mother, Anna Ford. Good morning.
Right.
Well, Sweet Mama. Good morning. Good morning, DeAndre Ziggs.
Never tell jokes while a woman is in labor. Doesn't work. Terrible audience.
You're not a joke teller though.
I was about to say,
I'm not a joke teller.
your jokes when we're not in labor, ain't?
Right.
You tried it during that point?
Yo,
I came this morning like, good morning. I miss you all. He didn't even turn around. Like,
nah, man. She was very like, yo. She remembered that about the whole maid comment I had mentioned on one of the shows. I think you had asked me,
About a
why
male maid.
don't you get a maid or something? I said, why? That's why you get married.
Nice.
She brought that up. I was like, oh wow, you don't forget, do you?
Good yerp back to the homie, Antoine.
Yeah.
Just switch that subject real
Yeah,
fast.
real fast. I just want to know also, before we get to the top 5 stories of the week, am I still on the Coon train according to Bakari? And who else put me on there?
That was my homie, Antoine, yes.
And,
He
so
also put you
Antoine
on.
and Bakari, y'all both
Yes,
put me
so
on the
they
Coon
will-
train.
they will.
Am I still on that train or?
I don't know, but let's start before those virgins that do the show afterwards.
Oh no, they're good. They're
I don't
good.
need their crap, okay?
what did they do to you guys last week?
No,
Sonny, they're very reckless with the. What do you think they're watching? Please.
I don't think they're
building their
watching.
robot girlfriend. F them.
We'll talk about this. I don't want to attack these.
They do pay for
They're like
shade.
Nah, some of y'all.
they're
Robot girlfriend?
19-year-old guys who are
Bro.
trying to make a living off of this radio stuff. You gotta let them live.
I said something about a wrestler that he likes. Yo, dude, almost challenged me to a fight. It was hilarious. Yo, all of a sudden I seen a broken beer bottle in my face. It's like slow your roll, bro. Hogan ain't fighting over you. But anyway, let's
Get some top 5
Yes.
stories of the week.
This is the top 5 stories of the week.
What did you say about Macho Man? Yo, chill, man.
So number one, obviously, as we always start, we started off with our President Donald Trump, who this week, eventful week, backed out of the Iran deal, and hired the worst lawyer you could ever hire
Bro.
in Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani.
You're talking about a snitch, a snitch on top of snitching.
Yeah, just go ahead and plead guilty, dude. Giuliani.
Who admitted in an interview that Donald Trump did pay Stormy Daniels $130,000 for hush money.
I don't know.
And
How
he
that-
denied it.
Then he retracted. Yeah.
And then you
Say
go
that.
on 15 different networks and say, I don't know, maybe something did happen. Well, you know what? Nothing happened.
Yes.
Like, I really question the people that he puts into office. Like, does he really like vet? Does he interview
No.
them? Does he figure out like what they're about before
You know
they
what?
put them in
You know
office?
the funny thing is he is running his presidency like a business here,
Yes.
and this is what I mean. A lot of businessmen will hire friends that they know because they know them the closest, so they can trust them or feel
Exactly.
like they trust them. And so, obviously, being from New York, I'm pretty sure he built a relationship with Rudy Giuliani. I know
Of all
Giuliani
people.
endorsed him.
Remember that SNL sketch they did back in the
Yeah,
day?
yeah, exactly. So they definitely have a relationship. So you keep the people you know close to you.
Right.
Forget qualifications. You hire your friends. And unfortunately, maybe you should do some vetting before you do hire your friends.
Uh-huh.
Or public speaking, like, listen, let's do a class before
Right.
you go on any network to speak about me and my money.
There's something called talking points. Okay, I'm pretty sure for anybody who's you've done marketing and PR and stuff like that. Anytime you're talking with a client, you say these are our talking points. Anytime this subject is brought up.
Yeah, but I think most of their talking points are we hate Obama. Hillary.
Yeah. Also, they don't really worry about it.
Pretty much.
Benghazi, yeah.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
ask them a question, they mention those 3 things, and you good. But
Right.
once you start vetting outside of that, then it's a little.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah.
When it has to do with themselves. it's a little
Giuliani
bit-
had him looking crazy, but you might as well just go ahead and admit you did it.
But this is the most pettiest thing I've seen all week. All right. And so Petty Inc. is still in existence, and this person needs to become the president, CEO, COO of Petty Inc. Completely.
Are you removing?
he really be trying to put people in my shit. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
Tell me, all right, let me ask you this. Does this deserve to be put on the top pantheon of pettiness? So John McCain, who is suffering from cancer,
Oh God, I know what you're about to say. Yeah.
he's suffering from cancer. He, I guess, knows he's going to die pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay? On his, before he's dead, he has said, by the way, I don't want Donald Trump at my funeral.
Yeah.
Imagine if that's his last words. No Trump.
Fuck him. Now, please tell me.
You know what?
that-
To be fair,
thank you.
yeah.
That is quite
I love it.
a high level of pettiness.
But-
Why are you even thinking about the funeral guest list before you're dead?
I
Bro,
mean, sometimes
no
you
kind
gotta
of
say what
will.
you
Who you
gotta say.
giving the clothing and the the gifts to? But Trump can't come to my funeral. That's real.
That's real.
petty.
That is
And
real.
he's not. He's not the only one thinking like that either. Let's be for real.
I don't know. I'll put that in my will too.
Yeah, like let's go. Don't put that. He cannot come anywhere near.
But the
vicinity.
idea that, for all the treatment that he's going through, all the chemo, all the symptoms of being sick and vomiting, and anybody with cancer knows the side effects of treatment, okay?
Chemos and radiation.
Within all of that,
Yes. Well, pettiness is now a symptom of Jesus
within
Christ.
all of that, you find the time to think about, I don't want Donald Trump at my
Yes.
funeral.
And then
Yep.
you had it leaked to the press, so the press knows you don't want that man at your funeral.
No, but it even
That's
got
more
worse.
petty.
Leaked.
It got worse because apparently somebody in his administration had asked about a certain stipulation whether John McCain would be able to vote or something like that. And an aide had said, well, it doesn't matter. John McCain's dying anyway.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is some disrespect.
But
I'm sorry.
that's how the president feels too. So I mean, what's his sense? Like people under him are gonna feel the way
That's
he
what I'm
feels.
You remember back in the day he shitted on McCain for being a prisoner
Yeah.
of war? Like,
Yeah, he was a
It all
punk.
stems from that.
Can't be a
Yeah,
war
of
hero
course.
because you got caught.
Right.
Let me ask you guys, though. Are there certain individuals, let's say you guys, unfortunately, let's hope this never happens, but are there certain people in your life that you would tell the person close to you, I don't want this person.
Hell
In a row.
yeah. Are you
course.
kidding me?
Oh, yeah,
I
yes.
have a list.
You have a list.
A list.
A list of people.
Don't
you
could
come
actually second
here.
that. I can second
Don't
that.
come here. No.
Come on, man. It's supposed
Because
to be like
you're
a
coming to be
joyous
nosy
occasion.
and
But
see
I'm-
how they
no,
make
no,
you
you're
feel.
disturbing
No.
my peace.
You're going to hold a grudge till your dying
Yes.
day.
Disturbing
Yes.
my peace.
Yes.
You would hope that we hate each other enough in life
That you
so that
will
you would
come.
try to play yourself. Because, I mean, again, yo,
Correct.
what if you come standing before my grave and punch me in my
right.
face, spit on my shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm already dead. You know how making people look weird when they dead anyway.
right,
Like, I'm
right,
already
right.
going through enough. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
it is what it is, man.
I'm already going through enough after I'm dead.
How many people are on that list? Would you
I
say?
probably got a good 10 on that list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
About a
I can
good
say
10.
that.
How many people you got beef with?
It's not about
I would
beef.
say
I just
beef,
don't
yeah.
want you at my funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got about 10.
Wow. How many
Because
people on your
they're not
list?
Crystal's
I
friends.
don't know how many people. Yeah, Trinity Man can't come to the funeral. Trinity Man about to type, can I come to your funeral, Crystal? Listen, Trinity Man.
Listen to me.
You're
You're
our
the voice's
friend.
friend, yes.
Yes.
Yo, Trinity
Yo,
Pup is
the
walking.
Trinity Pup is there with a black dress on and
Because she had a great time at the party, right?
Trinity Man singing Going Over Yonder. Trinity Pup, rather.
Sorry, Trinity man. Listen,
Yo.
we love you, man. We still holding
Trinity Pup
that.
delivering a eulogy. Meanwhile, Trinity Man standing outside the church windows.
Talk about he didn't want to come in
It
anyway.
starts raining on him and shit.
I didn't want to come anyway. All right.
Yo, don't
Trinity-
Well, my
start this
fu-
shit
my
again,
funeral, my
please,
funeral
yo.
gonna be lit.
Yes, like your party
Absolutely.
was, yes.
Yes.
Lit.
Yes.
I can't front. It was a fun party. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, Trinity man. Trinity man.
Bruh.
Trinity man is written 5 times on Crystal's list.
Trinity Man
so.
can't go nowhere.
He's going to invite
I don't know
himself
if
to the
Crystal got
funeral.
a
I think
restraining
so.
order against the dude or what?
Trinity Man won't give a damn. He's going to invite himself to the
Yo,
funeral.
Antoine says Crystal don't want people eating at her repast. Hey man, this shit is ridiculous, yo.
Oh, that's real.
Carol says she has a list too.
How long? What is up with y'all, man? Like,
It's just some people you just bang. You don't bang with. That's it.
but you're thinking about people you
Yes.
don't want on a.
Yeah,
that's
and I
crazy.
don't
Even
want you to
after
be
my-
fake
yes.
and come to
Not
my way.
because to be fair, you have like friends or enemies rather who
Right.
are kind of cool with your friends or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they get a little anxious. You know, they get on the thread. Can I come too? And you
Right.
gotta whoa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whoa.
You know how you do.
Let's get to number 2.
Right.
Let's please move on to
Can I
number
come
2.
to the funeral too, man?
So this person who I would imagine nobody's going to this guy's funeral. So George Zimmerman this week.
Oh no, I'll go to that funeral.
Oh, you would?
I would kick the shit out of that grave, B. Yo, straight Macho Man off the top rope on that
when
grave.
he died, I hope they piss on his grave.
Getting
every
pussy.
day.
But anyway,
So
sorry, go ahead.
Jesus Christ. So George Zimmerman this week
Yes.
was arrested once again
Who's shocked?
for a criminal summons for stalking.
Thuggery, you say?
Yes.
Oh, like
Zimmerman-
he stalked Trayvon Martin before he shot him?
Right. So Zimmerman is accused of repeatedly threatening and harassing Dennis Warren between December 16 and December 25th. Damn, on Christmas of last year. Warren is a private investigator who was hired by a production company that was working on a documentary about Trayvon Martin's life, I guess. According to CNN's affiliate WKMG, deputies said Zimmerman called Warren 55 times, left 36 voicemails, texted him 67 times, and sent 27 emails over a 9-day span. Jesus Christ.
Fingers don't hurt after using the phone that much?
Oh no, everything's all set now.
No,
Back
I'm
to
talking
business.
about. I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I think you told me.
Zimmerman. Relax, relax. I know
Sorry,
how much
sorry,
you got in
sorry,
your
sidetrack,
account,
sidetrack,
and I know
sidetrack.
you set up now.
Sorry, preach.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So this guy, I mean, for a guy who was supposed to be the, the neighborhood watch guy, the person who was supposed to keep safety in the neighborhood in order, this guy's had more. Like, how much of a record does this guy have?
Nice long one.
Absolutely.
But none of it consists of him having jail time.
Right. Of course not.
No. You think he's gonna get away with this one?
This is just a summons. It's a fine summons or whatever.
Let me tell you something. If he goes to jail,
Oh man.
he's not gonna last. They're
He's
gonna
gonna put
have
himself
to isolate
in
Matter of fact, I
voluntary
think if he
confinement.
No, they're
leaves
gonna put
Florida,
him.
I think he should stay where he's at.
Whatever. He's still in.
I'm
I
sorry.
think he might be still being at
In that little county
Sanford.
in Florida.
Sanford.
Yes. Just stay there, B.
If I was him, I was in jail, I'd punch a cop. Just put me in solitary.
They're gonna put him in anyway because he's a risk.
High.
He doesn't have
High
to do
risk,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a high risk. They're gonna put him in it. As soon as they see him, they know where to put him. That's like when Meek said that they had to put him in solitary because of who he was. Either way, they're saving him from himself.
I don't know about that. You
Wait.
go crazy in that solitary, boy.
Yeah, nah, they can definitely leave the chair and the string in the room with him.
Leave a gun.
I know, right? You know what to do. Pretend a 15-year-old is kicking your ass.
Exactly.
A black one with a hoodie and
Bitch.
Skittles.
But yeah,
Oh man, let's get to number 3.
Little bit of anger there for you.
Listen.
I don't
I think
play with that dude, and I don't play with people
who support that
sympathize
dude.
with him and none of that
Yeah.
shit.
Absolutely not. So there's this new movement going on the internet. Apparently, Spotify has removed playlists of R. Kelly. Okay, his music is still on Spotify,
But the playlist
but
highlighting him.
his playlist has been removed from Spotify, and now there's this whole movement on mute R. Kelly. I just have a question. Where the fuck were y'all all these years?
Where was this in 2001?
Where the fuck was this going on?
When everybody was passing around the
What
videos.
was that? 17 years ago? That tape came out.
Was that
with another
17
girl?
years?
That was like 2001.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
It
Right
was
there.
when I
Yeah.
graduated high
I
school.
watched it at
Absolutely.
your crib, matter of fact. Oh, pause. What is he doing?
I'm like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
So now, finally, after 17 years of this tape being released, now
Now
we've
all of a sudden,
decided.
y'all woke up.
Yes, now we have to say to ourselves, "Hey, why don't we mute R. Kelly?"
Well, J-Lex has a question. Why has it taken this long? Well, J-Lex, I'm going to answer that question. Unfortunately, people took money. That's why.
yeah,
Absolutely.
People accepted money from him, for him to do what he had to do. So
And
that's
even
why.
I think even the little girl's father, because the little girl's father, from what I understand, was like his drummer or something.
And
a lot
Sparkle
of people,
was her aunt.
right?
Right.
And a lot of people turned a blind eye to what he was doing because at the time he was quote unquote R. Kelly. So
Right.
now all of a sudden, now that the whole Me Too movement and all these things are coming in, Sparkle I think was the only one that testified against him. I don't even think the girl's father testified.
I don't think even Sparkle's testimony was like, I don't know, like it was
Right.
a bunch of BS. Like they all accepted money from him.
And now he don't got that money and he's shopping at
And
a
now-
Walmart.
but he's
now-
The most justice to happen to R. Kelly was him on that Best of Both Worlds tour with Jay-Z.
Ooh, remember
and
that?
Jay-Z's man Tata pepper sprayed him.
yeah.
Remember he said
Not
that
the
he
most
saw-
gangster shit in the world, but
Remember he said that
ooh,
somebody,
take that.
somebody had like a red light and he knew that it was a gun and somebody was trying to shoot him and he ran off stage.
Oh, I did remember that. I did remember that.
No, Kels, it was pepper spray.
Yeah.
Don't some of us wish that trigger would have went off? But now you're like seeing him out and about with these girls. That I think one recently,
A young one.
one of these young ones, and it's like he has no shame in his game.
But
Like,
apparently they're saying that young girl's father introduced them.
Jeez.
this reminds me of and listen, I don't want to put Michael Jackson on the same level as R. Kelly, but you got to start questioning the parents of these victims as well. Like, is there a specific motive that these parents have?
Well, what money in the world would be acceptable to buy your daughter's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
innocence.
Form
Like,
of
what is that?
trafficking,
Like,
bro. It's like-
that's exactly
and then
what it is.
apparently they saying that he's giving STDs to these women.
Oh,
Come on, you
what? No.
you know that R&B
What the- what's
dirty.
going on?
Let me leave it alone. The point is, yo.
Nah.
I gotta leave it alone. All right, let's get to number 4.
Number 4.
So we were off last week, but a hot topic that I think we still need to discuss was this whole Kanye West rant going on at TMZ.
Kanye, you mean?
Yeah, well,
Kanye West?
Kanye West,
Kanye
yeah,
West,
just-
yes.
who last week on TMZ was explaining himself, released a couple songs.
Scoopity-wop.
Scooby Doo. What was that? Scooby Doo.
Wop.
Whatever. I don't even know what the fuck that was.
You know he was trolling.
Yeah, of course.
Clearly.
But had the nerve to say that, for 400 years, slavery sounds like a choice to me.
You know what I like about that whole thing? So he kept going on and he made a statement that if he were around during that time, he'd have been Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman, right?
I like how these cats are talking like
Which
they
is
were-
great.
Right.
2 minutes later, tells the people at TMZ, you called me fat, which led to me having liposuction,
Liposuction.
and now I'm addicted to opioids.
Yeah.
Wow, you a strong-willed, my friend.
Do you think if TMZ were around during slavery and they would have said something about Harriet Tubman's bonnet, she would have gotten so depressed?
Should take opioids?
Yeah, thank you. Get the entire fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking about? In 1 minute, you're strong enough to be some revolutionary, and little Harvey from TMZ hurts your feelings, and now
And
you're
you-
druggy.
Yeah. And you had liposuction. So you mean you was
And you
wearing
still
one of
fat, B.
Right. But you wearing one of them fajas with the liposuction. Like, I just don't understand this whole...
Is this
whole-
a real thing, though? Is this truly a trend
No,
that
this-
men
he's-
do have liposuction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all can have that.
Men really like go.
Yes.
Wow.
They get abs. They go down to wherever they go, Colombia, Venezuela, Dominican Republic. and
At the
they-
same rate as women do?
Yeah,
or?
not, I
Nah,
don't think
of course
at the
not.
same
Well,
rate.
no, I
I
was
don't
at the
think
same
at the same rate, but it's a high percentage of men that go there.
Wow.
Yes.
But again, and then these people who are like, yeah, see, Kanye's right. Slavery was a choice. I would have stood up.
Okay.
You wouldn't have.
Your boss tell you to stay an hour late with no pay. You sitting your dumb ass down there, but
Yes,
now
sir.
you going. You leading the revolution.
So you telling me? Oh yes, you know, my choice was to get on this boat that looked like a Carnival cruise line to the West Indies, and just be shackled so I don't get seasick. Like,
So
are you kidding me?
I think somebody has said it before, so I don't want to take credit for this, but I think somebody said, "Oh, well, was it Kim's decision to get robbed then?
Right.
Was that her decision then? Is that something she chose?"
They took it even further than that. They brought his mom up, which I ain't trying to do all
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
they,
doing that,
they
no.
went in. They went in on him with that.
Like, I
pretty
think
bad.
he just sounds idiotic in my opinion.
Not only should Kanye be on the Coon Train, we should wrap the Coon Train with his next album cover. Like this is his train.
How them
his train.
Yeezys doing though? By the way,
I don't even
People
know.
burning
They're
them,
burning
and
them
I
up.
really wanted a pair. Now I
I
can't
would
even.
never even buy those.
I haven't
I
been
think-
back to Starbucks. I haven't been to H&M.
No Waffle House.
No Waffle
Yeah.
House.
Now no
what-
Yeezy.
Don't even think about sleeping in your dorm.
Right.
You got another thing coming.
I can't
God
picture Bino
forbid.
Bonnie Square Yeezys. You would
Nah, it's not my style.
No, okay,
you know
okay,
me better
good.
than that.
But it's just
Good.
amazing to me that somebody like this who made crack music, who's made so many Jesus Walks and all these
Who's
revolutionary.
made bangers and hits
Yeah.
and classics has turned into the opioid addicted.
But like I said,
Yeah.
Liposuction, living in Wyoming.
but like I said though, he's in a bubble. He's in that Calabasas bubble.
But he's
The president's
rich enough to be
supporting
in
this
that
man,
bubble.
right? And
Oh, president loves it.
the president
He
supports this
loves
man
it.
so much, and the president is trying to go against the opioid epidemic, right?
Right.
And he knows that his supporter is an
Is
opioid
okay
addict.
addict. But on top
Ironic.
of that, you Kanye is like that guy Van said. Kanye's rich enough to be in this bubble. Us every day,
Well, we'll
you
see how long
getting
that one
stopped,
lasts.
right? But you getting stopped on the corner by police. You see what I'm saying? He's not. That doesn't happen to him.
Mm.
Like he has people who drive him around. He has this. We don't have that. We are the normal.
Must be nice.
Society, right? It must be nice to be able to have opioids, sent in, and you don't have to even. There's no drug test.
Here's my issue, and this is because I don't want to just leave it all on him. I kind of feel like sometimes, you get a ridiculous amount of money, and then your environment changes. I think sometimes with certain people, viewpoints of the world change, and when you surround
Yes.
yourself with people, like I said this
Yes,
last
man.
time. Not just yes, man. Just like white Americans who look at Kanye and say, "Kanye, you have all these black people from Chicago shooting each other. Why couldn't they do what you did?"
Yeah,
Right.
but use your power to be the influencer. You don't gotta
Right.
get influenced around your quote unquote
But
environment.
you gotta
Use your
imagine,
power,
imagine
man.
being told you're great all the time and saying, "Hey, why don't they do what you did? And why don't they work as hard as you did and make classics like you did?" And like they look at it as so simple when in reality we know it's not.
Cousin Pat, you said
Yes.
Kanye needs help. We judge him, but we won't realize he needs help. No, I think he needs help. I don't think anyone around
Nobody's
this
disagree
table
with that at all.
disagrees with that.
Wait,
He's
No,
mentally
the
unstable.
judgment, Cousin Pat, was him saying that slavery
Slavery
was
was
the
correct.
choice.
Right.
That is the judgment. And I hate this generation with the "I'm not my ancestor" t-shirts they be wearing and all of that. You right. You ain't got the heart
Yes.
that your
Yeah.
ancestors
Totally.
had.
That's and what did I see? I saw that the other day. Somebody had posted on Facebook saying, "Yes, what's wrong with Kanye talking about being a free thinker?" And this Lemon, who we've known, had the nerve to. I
Y'all
just
know
like
a
how
lot of lemons.
Yo, it's amazing how all these people all of a sudden would have been, like you mentioned, Nat Turner on the front line and would have been defending the culture and saving all these slaves.
And don't jailwalk on a normal basis.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
don't do
Right.
anything
Like, don't talk-
risky. Like, get out of here with that, yo, please.
Yo, it's unbelievable how all of a sudden they'd be on the front line, and it's like it's so easy to say.
These slaves risked their lives to save other slaves.
Absolutely.
The
But
only
yet they
slaves they couldn't save are the ones that didn't think they were slaves. That mentality of this is the way it's supposed to be, knowing that these white people gave you the Bible to interpret it differently.
Correct.
You
But
see what I'm
it's,
saying?
but it's also
Q?
the same people who say, "Well, free thinkers are right and Kanye is right," but don't even they yell at the protesters for protesting social injustice.
But here's the thing. Even if you aren't one of the slaves that she mentioned, basically
Right.
the house Negroes or whatever, even if you aren't one of them,
Right.
if you're a regular slave, right, and you have a family, and you know taking your family is risking their
Absolutely.
lives as well, and you
Absolutely.
decide
Yep.
to look, I'm gonna just do what I gotta do.
Yep.
I can't hold that against
It's
you,
you.
Especially as
especially
kids.
living in 2018.
Absolutely.
I cannot hold that against you because I don't live those circumstances. Please,
It's amazing. Let's get to number 5.
Number 5.
So having a new kid, he's in a new generation now. And Voice knows you're all gonna be raising kids in this new generation, right? Of this PC consent generation. So there's this woman, I think she's from Australia, and she's a sexual expert. I don't know how you become a sexual expert. I don't know how that how that happens or whatever. I don't know what gives you. I don't know if there's classes on this. I don't know how it works. But she goes on to say that it's now up to parents to ask consent from the child to change their diapers.
Bro.
I've never heard of such bullshit. I'm sorry.
Children from 3 years old. We work with parents from birth.
From birth.
Yeah. Just about how to set up a culture of consent in their homes. So I'm going to change your nappy now. Is that okay? Of course, the baby's not going to respond. Yes, Mum, that's awesome. I'd love to have my nappy changed. But if you leave a space and wait for body language and wait to make eye contact, then you're letting that child know that their response matters.
So here's the
That
thing.
child's gonna beat his mother up.
First of all right. So I have a kid that's about 7 days old. Okay. My kid doesn't even know his arm right now. Right now, he's chewing on his hand that we speak. Look at me asking my kid, "Hey, you mind if I change your diaper? I know the shit is spilling over, but
He's gonna say gaga.
just so you don't file a charge against me, I just want to make sure that."
You imagine Jackson going to the police department? This
Yo,
man
what?
changed my diaper and I didn't want
And
him
he
to.
hung the phone up on me too. Yes.
You mean your dad? Yes. We now have to start. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Still has film on him. Like, I don't want him
Yeah.
touching
I
you.
don't want him touching me. Although he is my dad, and I do have a poopy diaper, I don't want him touching me.
Right.
How is a kid supposed to interpret or understand consent?
Or how is a parent supposed to understand the consent
Or
of
just
the child?
asking for, or asking consent from a child, right?
Yeah.
Gooded, who normally doesn't speak this way, says, "Get the fuck out of here with that."
It's ridiculous now.
Yes.
Gouda is my new favorite person.
And then you have this new, with the thing with the Boy Scouts, where now they're no longer considered the Boy Scouts. Now they're just, what is it? The
Scouts.
Scouts.
Yes.
So what are the Girl Scouts?
They're still the Girl Scouts.
Scouts.
Now, from my understanding, it was much more of a financial decision than a gender relation decision, as far as the name change is concerned. But people are still a little up in arms about the whole, we have Boy Scouts, we have the Girl Scouts. Now we just have Scouts.
So Stacy says, should the parents also get permission to conceive and give birth? Yes.
Right.
J-Lex says, might have to skip the kids thing altogether. Yes. Juan Carlos says, just because you say it with an accent, don't make it true. And Trini Mon says, this shit is getting out of hand, and Crystal, I'm coming to you.
I'm coming to you too.
So there. Mon. Yeah.
Can I have a now and later?
Yeah, I did it, mine. I'm sorry. An poll question for the week. So you discussed this before we got on air, that there's a certain misconception about you, and I think there's misconceptions about everybody, of
course,
in this room. What would you consider the biggest misconception about who you are?
So that is our poll question. What is the
okay.
misconception?
Well,
about you?
where did this originate from with you? Because you recently just saw Infinity War.
Yeah, so there's this Avenger movie, right?
Right.
Has everyone in here seen it?
I loved it, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let me guess, you haven't seen it?
No,
Yes?
he has not.
You're waiting for that bootleg DVD to come out.
Or the Fire
I
Stick.
shall not confirm or deny.
Yes, that is.
Well, guess what?
that is
Spoiler alert.
confirmation.
Spoiler
So,
alert.
all right. So Thanos gets like different color rings. And
Yeah,
things
gets the
and
Infinity
crazy
Gems,
shit.
yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, about 10 of you have sent me. Even more than that, has sent me this Timberland meme. Okay, with the
Me
different
being
colors.
one of them.
Yes, like I told her, I said she did it as well.
Okay.
So about the 20th time I saw it, I said, "Listen, we got to talk about this." I don't wear Timbs every fucking day. Okay, I probably wear Timbs once every 3 months.
But you are a true
Leave
New
me
Yorker,
the fuck
correct?
alone. I am a true New Yorker. Yes, it is
And
what it
you
is.
always have a fresh pair on deck.
That is factual.
Right.
Okay.
But because I wear it so, I don't wear it as often, they remain fresh.
Right.
Okay? So, again, the next person to send me this shit, I'm going to flame on them. Enough of this. Stop tagging me in it.
Can I send you it? Can I send you it again? Does that matter?
I think you
Again,
just said
you
no.
hold it up. Okay? Please. I do not eat cereal
So you
out
mean-
of them. I don't, or any other.
So the misconception of you is that you're this Timberland collecting dude.
Correct. That,
right.
like, I bathe in them, I sleep in them, and all this other foolishness.
Like you're so New York that
Yo,
you have,
it's
You
ridiculous.
have a wall full
They
of
said New
Timbs.
Yes.
York men don't take their Timbs off while they're, making love.
Okay, so there may be some truth to that. But the point is,
Timbs to the head.
So
the robe and the
everything,
Woo! But
everything
again.
I've said is factual, but he's trying to tell me
but
that it's not.
enough with this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Enough.
so
Now,
voice,
the rest of you.
What is a misconception about you that you've seen people say about you that's not true?
I'm
And
controlling.
we'll confirm it.
I'm controlling.
No, I think that's pretty true.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Let me ask you a
And,
question. It's Mother's Day.
when it comes to like females, like I don't like the way they speak.
Voice, it's Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm going to ask you. You know what I'm going to ask you, sir.
Even I know what he's gonna ask you. Yes.
Did you buy anything for Mother's Day?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Are you waiting for Father's Day?
Probably I'll get a gift.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't get the controlling vibe from you.
I don't either.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Okay, so you
The cheap vibe is very high.
Cheap vibe definitely.
Cheap vibe is
I
that's
guess.
Well, you started
Right.
on today.
Well, a lot of people claim that I don't treat women a certain way. I don't like the way they speak to me. I'm totally opposite. I'm big on women empowerment, like really big on women empowerment.
empowering on
Yeah.
me.
I am.
But that doesn't mean
I am.
one has nothing to do with the other. Just because of women empowerment doesn't mean that you can like the women.
No, I like them to take charge. I like them to lead. I encourage them as much as possible. I don't control them at all.
Okay.
I leave them free to make the decisions.
So, Crystal, what is a misconception about you? That you slay too much? What is it?
That I'm a diva.
Oh, really? Oh.
Get the entire.
So is the heat?
with that
Wait,
bullshit.
what's the heat? The heat's
Thank
good?
you.
The heat's- okay.
Thank you.
That's what you,
You
do
go-
today?
Amongst other things.
No, I'm
That's
saying-
what you're doing today.
No.
Proving points. Yes, that's what he's doing.
Oh.
Yes.
Today? I'm not. I'm very simple to please.
So long as everything goes your way.
Not true. There's a lot of things that don't go my way, but that doesn't mean that I'm
Let's just get to commercial.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
I mean, let's just get to commercial.
Well, we didn't talk about you.
You gonna start lying? Like, come on now.
For real.
Like, that you're not.
But I'm not a diva. And my name isn't Crystal Stout.
I'm not.
Next. Anyway, you, Mr. Dad Hat.
Shout out to yo. So this is explain the story a little bit with this. So this is from
This is from Mika. Yes. She
Shout
has a
out to her.
company.
She's
She's part of a company. They sell a bunch of dad
So
clothing.
it's called the Bad Dad Hats, the Bad Dads Club.
Yes.
They gave me this hat.
and
Shout
you
out to
being
them.
so badass.
Yes.
I
Thank you
I
so
said,
much.
you know what? Yes.
Thank you so much. So everybody go check out the Bad Dad Club.
I like that.
It's really dope. Yeah, man. So shout out to them. Thank you, Mika, for suggesting it, and thank you, sir, for getting it for me. So
You're welcome.
appreciate it. But
Thomas says, I don't even know Crystal, and I know she's a diva.
yeah, I think that's
So anyway, back
Really?
to your misconception here.
that you know what, that I have a temper. I don't think I have
I don't think you have one either.
no,
I think
no.
you're just naturally grumpy at all times. Like a temper means you would have to get angry.
Right, exactly.
You're already pretty angry and grumpy at all
really
times
bah
anyway.
humbug,
So
yeah. I mean,
exactly. Like
Christmas time, I'm like, "Brr."
you notice every picture he's got the beware of dog face at every picture we take. Raw.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a very nice guy. I would like to imagine.
When you want to be.
When I want. Okay, let's get to commercial. When I want to be.
Yo, so everyone's misconception is
pretty much
accurate here. Yes.
Accurate as fuck. All right, Sunday morning breakfast. Call us at 516-900-2278. These past 2 weeks has been a tough week for white people and police. I tell you.
For white people?
Yeah, for white people. Because they're not helping their own cause right now. So we'll get to more to that. There's been plenty of viral videos that have come out.
Oh gosh.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Like Bino,
This nigga's sleeping.
like Bino
Who
has
she
alluded
thinks
to.
she is?
Apparently, you can't graduate
That's
without
fine.
drama. You can't sleep in a dorm room without drama.
You can't do homework.
You can't ask for a supervisor or not sign a ticket without drama. Like, the list goes on. We'll be
Well, I
talking
gotta
more
tell
about
you
that.
guys a story about asking for a supervisor this morning.
Uh-oh.
All right, Sunday morning breakfast. We'll be right back.
Active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while. Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Psst. Yeah, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active. But lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, Sunday morning breakfast. Call us up 516-900-2278. Like I mentioned before we got off break, it's been a rough week with white people and cops, but you wanted to read some of these comments about these misconceptions that...
Before that, we'll do our poll question here. Some people have answered. Carol Ross says, people think I'm mean.
Okay.
Gudit says, people think I'm white.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wait, who said that?
Gudit is actually black and Haitian at that. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
She a light-skinned Haitian?
No, she's very properly spoken type of black, so you know how that goes.
She sounds white, quote
basically,
unquote.
Basically,
Okay.
yes. So that's how that goes. Yes. Whoa, you speak perfect English. You're white. Yes.
We speak properly.
DeAndre says, "Preach is cool, just no bullshit." So you have a vote there for your.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
boy.
Thank you,
DeAndre. Yes.
Thank you, DeAndre.
Yes. DeAndre, you're more than welcome to join us in the studio anytime.
Trying to get the cool points?
Those kind of comments, yes. Zick says, people think... Oh, I'm sorry. Because my father was a doctor, everyone thinks I am rich.
Well, he's not.
There you have that. I'm about to ask you for some bread.
I guess not. Jesus Christ.
Doctor visits, maybe.
All right, man. So where do we start with this whole thing, man? So this week, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been a lot of stories of... I've heard of driving while black. I've heard of walking while black, but apparently you can't barbecue while black. You can't sleep while black. Let's get to this first story. So this first story, this woman here who looks like Sarah Huckabee.
She looks very sweet. Yes. Do you know that Sarah Huckabee is our age?
Yeah. Ain't that some shit?
She is?
Yes.
That's
back to Karen Zimmerman over here.
Right. So this woman here, she was filing she was calling the police because 2 individuals who were barbecuing in the park were using charcoal instead of, I guess, the alternative.
She's a propane kind of person.
Yes. And apparently, according to her, using charcoal is illegal in the park. Okay. I don't know if she's I don't know if she's a park officer,
a ranger. Yes.
Right. I don't know if she's
anyone with those glasses is trouble. Sunglasses.
I totally agree with that.
And those glasses you see the commercial on TV.
Especially when
She want to come out the black car.
What's going on?
Look at her.
Look at her phone.
She doesn't want to talk now.
It's illegal to have a charcoal grill in the park here.
No, it's
So
not
it is
actually.
illegal to have a
It says
charcoal
this is a
grill in the
designated
park.
Barbecue area.
No, not for a charcoal grill. No charcoal grills are allowed.
She has a
You wanna
permanent
see
frown
it?
on her face. That's crazy.
She's the black dude with the meme that's on the phone.
Let me just ask this question: who's walking around, or just a regular patron checking grills?
But it's not even warm over there. Look at the sweatshirts they all got on.
So are you saying that they're going to hurt children out here, or I mean, like, what is with this?
There's laws about this park, and
I know the laws about this park.
And charcoal grills are not allowed here.
So they should go buy a new grill because I just looked
They
at it and it
shouldn't be
doesn't say
doing charcoal
anything.
grills in here. I don't care.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not because you don't want black people being?
Oh! How dare she bring that
It's
up?
like a new Jim Crow going on. Because for some reason, every time I see it, black people are the ones targeted regarding barbecuing at the lake, and you're a perfect example of it right now. It's two men sitting out here just chilling, and this whole setup is real clean.
Yo, give Carol. I think that is a white woman.
It's a white
woman,
Give Carol
You
some
wanna
props
call
right there.
the police
She
on
could bring her. She could bring a potato salad.
You want
I'm
to
sorry.
call the
No,
police
she
on
can't
them
bring
for
it.
having
But
a
she
She don't need it. She can bring it.
lake.
Yes.
I just looked at the map and it said this map is fine to barbecue.
No, it's not.
It
for
does.
Charcoal, not for charcoal.
Nautica,
You
did
can
I
have
just
a
send it to you?
non-charcoal grill, but not a charcoal grill.
Okay, well this is exactly what's the problem with
So she's
Oakland
calling the
today.
police now.
This lady right here wants to sit here and call the police on them for having a barbecue at the lake as if this is not normal.
Oh, liberal Lindsay is getting loud here.
All right, let me fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, she just
It's
1-0
It's on the hold for the Oakland Police Department.
because they're not fucking
Oh, this is
with
in
you.
Oakland too. I
They're not
forgot.
fucking with you.
They're not, they don't got time for this.
One of the blackest places in America. Yes.
I mean,
This morning, there has been no police that called me back, and now they're shoving me.
by the way, she called the police.
Now
It took
they're
the.
shoving me.
You're on video the whole time. I have it on video. I didn't. shove you.
Lakeshore and Cleveland Cascade, also 23,
I didn't
24
touch her. I asked
Lakeshore.
her to give me the card. I'm asking her to give me my card
23,
back.
24 Lakeshore. It's in the park.
You're the one harassing people. I know. Look at this.
What is the phone charged
What
to?
is it charged to?
They're threatening me.
I'm not threatening her. I wouldn't hurt her. I'm not stupid. Why would I hurt her?
No, I'm not.
Now this is where.
Now she's starting scared. You hear her?
I'm being harassed.
Now, the cops are there.
The cops
Watch.
are here
Now watch the tears.
The card that she stole.
No kind of tears, just face.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing.
Not one tear, dogs.
That is terrible.
Ma'am, can you just back up just a tad so I can talk to her?
Look at that stupid shit.
Sure.
Oh, Karen, I know. Oh,
I wish her head was in between that door.
now please. No, she's so verklempt she can't even get the racism out.
Oh my gosh.
This is terrible.
Yo, I'm surprised the cop ain't hug her yet.
That's another thing. They took like 2 hours to get there. The cops were like, "What? Over a
Barbecue, you say? We're on our way.
Got
Start throwing darts in his.
Oh man, it's amazing. So they went to her and started harassing her, even though she went to the gentleman.
This
and
is
said
the remix, you say?
Right.
This is my favorite part of the video, man.
The cop is trying to
He
keep
about
a
to
straight
cry
face.
too. They did what?
Niggers did what?
Do you think they have any more of those ribs left?
All right, I've seen enough.
She's showing the cop the pictures of the ribs.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh,
to me.
this is some great stuff.
So I want to know, did they kick them out the park?
Well, I know that. I think the day afterwards, they ended up having
They
a
had
bigger
a
barbecue.
damn Soul Train and Essence Fest, Greek Fest,
The
and
white-
any
white
other
boy.
Negro fest that you could think of put together in that park. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God.
I heard every black person in Oakland, MC Hammer, E42 Short,
Keisha
they
Cole.
all were there. Yes, everyone was there. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Yo, Thomas says they just need to feed the cops next time and it'll be over. That's exactly what. If I were there, hell,
I gave him some chicken. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you would have given some of your mother potato salad.
That's
What?
That's
Oh
it.
man.
You know, potato salad is best the
Absolutely.
next day.
Absolutely.
All right, so what do y'all want to get to this news story about the Yale student who fell asleep while she fell asleep while studying
While studying.
in a dorm in the dorm common area.
At Yale
Not in her
University.
room.
Wait, that's where you're supposed to study, really. That's where.
Well, that's where you're supposed. Of course, right?
But if you've been away to school, everyone knows that's where people sleep anyway. It's a normal thing.
Yes.
Well, I would imagine if anybody's ever seen Saved by the Bell, when these students they study hard, they fall
old Zach
asleep.
Morris, yeah.
Saved by the
Well, I don't know about Zach; he never studied. But
Yo,
He was too
is it-
busy
is it
chasing
ridiculous
Kelly
that's all
Kapowski.
our references? That's where all our references come from. We don't know shit else but Saved by the Bell.
that's pretty much it. So this is a story of a college student, a grad student at that, who was studying late night, and she was harassed by another white, I guess, student there. and saying that she could not sleep in the dorm common area. Let's play the video.
Police were called. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
I love him.
Growing frustration tonight after yet another instance of police being called to investigate a black person carrying out a routine act. The latest target was taking a nap.
I have every right to call the police. You cannot sleep in that room.
This white student called police on a black graduate student who fell asleep while writing a paper in the dorm's common area.
I was sleeping on the couch. And said, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you sleeping here?
4 officers respond.
Once we verify that you're a resident here, we'll be on our way.
Cianbola unlocks her door to prove she lives there, but police still want to see ID. She turns it over, but is detained 15 minutes when the name doesn't exactly match their records.
I deserve to be.
Wait, let me pause that. So to prove that you live in a residence.
She didn't climb in the window. She opened the door. I still need to see something else. Where's your social security? She brings that out. Birth certificate?
Oh, forget the pictures on the wall.
I know, right?
Of her family.
All throughout the years of her growing up through life.
I don't believe you. I still need verification.
Show me how you would look in 10 years from now. What else?
Oh, that wasn't enough.
And 4 of them?
Right.
You need 4 police officers.
I want
right.
to know if they feel like idiots today.
They would have to, but I'm pretty sure they felt like they did their.
You know why I'd be the worst cop? Because I'd have to put that call on someone else.
Yeah, like you wasted my time, dog. Like we're trying to fight terrorism here.
Thank you.
I get tuition like everybody else. I'm not going to justify my existence here.
Right.
Cianbola tells police this same woman called police on her friend, a fellow student, in March. That student says when he asked for directions, she responded,
"You're making me uncomfortable. I don't feel safe around you. You're an intruder. You need to get out. You need to leave."
In response to this week's incident, Yale released a statement saying Yale police follow procedures and added that police admonished the student who made the call.
The Vice President for Student Life issued a statement saying she is deeply troubled by this incident and that they now plan to hold listening sessions.
Oh, that's all we need.
Another Starbucks racial insensitivity training here. Yes,
that's all we need is a listening session. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Oh my God! By the
to
way,
abolish racism, have a listening session.
That's all. This whole time, that's all we've been missing on. Holy shit!
You imagine if they had that before Jim Crow?
So, hey, Master wants us to have a little listening session so he can understand us a little bit better.
Slaves, go ahead. Let us know what your problems are. Well,
when you put the chains across our neck, I didn't think that was cool.
Kind of hurts. All right, please.
Masters, go ahead. Well,
it's a little hot out here. Can someone put the air on?
The whips. You mind putting those away?
Exactly.
Those kind of hurt.
Maybe talk to us.
The masters are gonna be like, well, you don't make up the rooms like we need to early in the morning. Can you come up 15 minutes earlier?
The N word, the nigger word, we don't like that. That's not really cool.
Listen, Big Billy. When I want to sleep with your wife, don't
interrupt me.
Don't interrupt me.
Jesus Christ.
That is a good listening session.
Oh, that's all we need is listening session.
It says false reports should equal arrest. Think before lying.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
Totally.
Bakari says they love to tell on people, especially us. Yeah, this is crazy.
This is nuts, man. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like
she wasn't even entertaining like the first one. The one at the barbecue was entertaining at least.
That was, I mean,
Jesus.
The aftermath was just as entertaining.
Oh my
just
God!
The simple fact that they said, "Oh, they want to stop a barbecue." The one thing black people
they start playing before I let go.
They must have been
it's like
candy.
They
must have been seasoning that chicken the day before. Like she don't want to have a barbecue today.
Oh, they must have had the best food ever. And
Bro. I wish I was on the West Coast. I wish.
Oh man,
I'd have been there acting a Negro food.
You know, they probably had everything but regular salad at that.
Can I ask
that
a question
barbecue.
though? This is a question for Bino. At this barbecue,
yes,
would you eat fried
I
chicken?
would eat the I'd have the watermelon in one hand. Just stop the starting now. Yo, it'd be crazy. Are you serious?
Would you actually eat the chicken in public? Though?
Yes.
This is a point I'm proving.
You actually would.
Yes,
do it.
this is a point I'm proving.
I'll be there for
super
it. I'm here for it,
Negroidian
B. I'm here
at
for
this
it.
barbecue, B.
I'm here for it, B.
I hope they acted up, man.
So in this other story, this might be a little bit more upsetting. A couple of weeks ago, we looked at a tape of a woman, her kids being stopped by police, and her giving them the right act in terms of. I work for the what was it the Transportation Commissioner,
Port
Authority Commissioner, cursing, saying this was ridiculous, so on and so forth. This story here is a 65-year-old black woman who was stopped by police. She was given a summons. I think proper procedure is, I guess you're supposed to sign the summons. She declined and asked for a supervisor. This is what happened to her after.
Please repeat her age one more time.
65 years old, mind you. I want you to keep note of how many police officers it takes to subdue this woman. Once again, how old is she?
65 years
65 years old. All right, let's get to it.
A controversial and violent traffic stop involving a 65-year-old woman.
Really?
Alpharetta police now investigating their own.
There are aspects of this video that you're likely about to watch that simply do not represent who we are as an organization.
Okay, so why'd
Police
y'all
pulled
do
over
it?
Rose Campbell on Windward Parkway last Friday for failure to maintain her lane. She didn't agree with the officer, refusing to sign the traffic ticket and requesting to speak with the supervisor.
Calm down.
Now, let me stop it there. Is that fair to ask for a supervisor?
Yes.
And in any instance,
You can do that, and you have
you
to wait.
can do that.
You're
Absolutely, you
supposed
can ask for a superior officer.
Yes.
Correct. You can decline not to. You don't have to sign that summons.
Of course.
No.
You do not have to sign that summons.
course, exactly.
I guess these. So how many police? The 65-year-old woman. Let's count the police officers there right now. I believe 4 are there.
Is that the magic number for black people? 1 black person to 4 officers?
4 officers per.
Yeah, it was just 4 officers.
The situation escalates,
Oh, there goes the fourth
several
one.
officers forcibly
No, there were 5.
Campbell out of her vehicle
No.
and putting her in
Yep.
handcuffs.
Made room. Wow. So it took 5 police officers to arrest a 65-year-old woman just because she did not want to sign the summons.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say police officers and white people are having a pretty tough week this week.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much go hand in hand when you really think about it. But so out of all this stuff that's been going on, what are some of the things that you've taken away from this? I mean, we've talked about this since we've been blue in the face or black in the face or whatever we get when we get
It's
stressed
a
in the
mutual
face.
consensus. I mean, look what happened with did you hear about the story with the lawyer and the daughter?
No, what story is that?
So there was a woman who was a lawyer, a New York City lawyer.
Mhm.
Her 19-year-old daughter, they were accused by a white clerk for shoplifting.
Right.
And there was no proof. There was no shoplifting going on.
Oh, I think I did see this
They
story,
were they were handcuffed and everything like that until they found there was no proof to this whole entire thing. So the consensus is mutual.
Was that in Brooklyn?
This was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know. What
Correct.
you're talking
Yes.
Yo, so much going on, yo. Like I can't even keep up with it. Like it's crazy.
I mean,
week alone is like
this week was crazy.
These past 2 weeks, forget like this. These past, if you look at it, how many more of these stories have we seen since we've started doing the show?
It's tripled. But you know what's so funny?
Mm-hmm.
Kanye, we have a choice for people to treat us like this.
Right.
You know what
No,
I'm saying?
you're right.
Like, this
Because
is a
we're not
choice.
free thinking enough.
We're
Yeah.
not free
That's
thinking
what that
because
is.
we could tell the cops, get off of us right now. That's our choice. Don't
Well,
touch
think
me,
for
sir.
you.
You're hurting my neck, sir. You know what I'm saying? This is what we have. This is something that we've chosen to happen to us.
We asked for this pretty much.
Duh.
And if we thought a little bit freer, then this wouldn't be happening.
I agree with that.
Of course.
Because this is a choice that we ask for. I can't even barbecue in a goddamn park, let alone.
Mind you, just like somebody said in the thread, I think charcoal is the only thing that you can put there if you want to barbecue.
I don't know what the guidelines are for a park, but who is a regular patient just walking around checking people's
Who's going to put a
barbecue?
gas line over there?
Who's checking barbecue? Right. I would imagine that's a lot more dangerous.
Exactly.
But why does that even bother
Why does
you?
it bother
that
you?
bother you? Even the sleeping in the dorm thing is even more ridiculous. Like, she clearly doesn't look like she's homeless or like
No.
she doesn't belong. Like, what's the issue?
She opened her own door.
What more do you need?
Prove to me you live here. Okay, I'm going to open my door
Well,
now.
okay. So even if you had an issue with it, and it's a dorm, so why not call a RA or a grad student that works there?
Exactly. Thank you.
Like,
You
why?
have to call the
Why are the
cops.
cops being called?
And this is where I sympathize with certain police aspects where they say we're treated more like babysitters as opposed to real police officers. Because you can imagine if you're a police officer and you're being called for a grill, for somebody sleeping in a dorm room, you're probably going there like, really? Like this? I have to spend my time doing
Right,
this?
but I would think that they would act like that towards the person that made the call, not the person they're responding.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? For
Right.
like you're telling me that you're treating me away because you don't want to get called here. That's
Thank
not
you.
my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't call you guys.
It boils down to one
I
thing.
didn't say hi, Mr. Officers.
Since they can't put their hands on us, they know that if they were to call the police, and it's been said all over the internet for the whole entire week, if they
Right.
were to call the police, they know that we have a strong possibility of getting hurt. And that's something they
Right.
want to see.
Well, yeah, I read someone actually posted it. They said the whole thing about these kind of people, and again, we know it's not all white people and all that. Let's be clear on that. But these type of people who will call the cops for some petty shit like this are trying to enforce their control.
Correct.
Or their level of white supremacy.
Correct. Yes. Right.
Like clearly, it's my way. I want it done now, and
Right.
I'm going to bitch my fit and get the cops involved or
Right.
whatever to show you what time it is.
Right.
And that's why a lot of them support cops regardless of what, because they make it they put it in their favor. If a cop can just kill a black person that they fear or whatever, then it makes them easier to know to walk the street against that black person that they fear.
It's so wild that you fear people because of the color of their skin, and that you know, a lot of people don't even realize, and I think black people don't even realize how much power we have. Like it's to the point where they want to tell you, no, you're weak, you're this, you're that, you're the third. This whole 50 states was built on our backs. And this is still what you're doing to us? This is disgusting.
Well, I just always hate the argument. Well, it's 2018. Can you believe this is still going on?
Yes. Because bigots raise bigots who raise bigots who raise bigots. I mean, it's going on. You have your values that your parents taught you, etc. Like we all do.
Of course.
Bakari says, and yet some will say just go along and do what they say, when the real question should be, why can't we be treated equally?
That's it. That's it. I mean, that's it. I just want to end up off that Coon train. That's it.
For now, you're good. I've seen both their comments. They said you're good for now. They said you're still like in the station. Like you look like you're ready to go to the
platform.
They say
you're always in the station.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
The purgatory of the Coon train.
Like why?
I have no idea.
Why can't you be amongst us over here?
I don't know what
seen the station.
Oh, I know what initially put me on the Coon train was the NFL thing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
The one that you didn't watch for free.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, I'm sorry. You didn't pay the advertising.
I just watched it on the Fire Stick.
Oh, you watched it for free.
I think some of us in here were watching as well.
Pretty much.
Not me.
Oh no, I watched when the protests got heavy. I started watching. That's what made me start watching.
Exactly.
But you know, it is what it is. But like this whole idea, and I want to get to this next story. So, this is the time of the season. You have proms, you have graduations. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion for seniors, graduates in general. Okay, you're going to get your diploma or your degree. You worked so hard to accomplish this. You spent, especially if you're in college, in a big college, you spent hella money. We know how much those bills are. Forget just books, tuition, room and board, what have you. We all know it's expensive to go to college. So you would think graduation is a joyous day. Yo, I'm out of here. I did it. I got that piece of paper saying that, all right, I've taken these courses. I've done right by these suggestions. I've done what I needed to do.
This college
I can't wait. So in the University of Florida graduation, I guess they had this. I don't know if this is a ritual. I don't know if this is something that's gone on in past graduations, but it seemed like students were dancing. Once they got their degrees, they went up on the stage.
And they deserve it.
And they danced. And then, see, here's the thing. I think in the pre-show, I was talking to Bino saying, I can understand where the school is coming from because, look, we all been at a graduation where it'd be hella long. Like, it's just be 5 hours. For
real.
Like, what? Especially when they're outside?
Yes.
Oh, hurry up. Let's go. But then you also have to look at it as these students are probably paid 6 figures for this degree, and they work their asses off to make it.
Not to mention the 7 figures they're paying loans the rest of their life. But yes, go ahead.
Exactly. So these students, they're happy. So apparently the white students were dancing, having a good time anytime they picked up their degree. But it seemed like when it came to the black students, the administration were kind of shoving them off the stage and straight throwing them off the stage. Let's watch the video.
Joyfully dancing across the stage on graduation day. Suddenly, a college official rushes in and aggressively hauls him away in front of 10,000 spectators. It also happened to this graduate.
Look at him.
And this one.
Ain't that time to hype, baby?
He think he's Sandman from Apollo.
Graduates at the University of Florida yanked off stage to the jeer.
I like
Osborne,
right?
Sharon Osborne, yeah.
And it's funny how all these women are, they're clapping and like, oh yes, you're right. Let them celebrate. You'd be the same motherfuckers calling the cops.
You can't assume that.
Especially about my Sharon. Don't you?
You can't assume that. You cannot. That's not nice to assume that.
I'm not assuming that.
That's why some people be looking at us like no. You can't.
I'm not assuming that of the panel that was talking. I'm assuming that of the people in the audience.
Well, so what's the difference between the panel and the audience? They still white.
Generically speaking, this is what they do.
What is that?
There you see it.
Yo, can you show
that's some disrespect.
Can you show that on the webcam?
That's some disrespect.
We got them in here?
Wait, let me get a close up. Nah, it's too shiny. Back it up a little bit.
We're gonna post that up.
Yeah, we'll post it up. Okay, but yes, if for those who can't
send
see
that
it,
to
it was
you,
Dr. Martin. Let's watch the rest of this video.
For mere seconds before being dragged away, reportedly because his dance moves were taking too long.
Can't front the camera shots are hot.
was also forcibly shoved off stage for the same reason.
It was only towards the end when more of the black graduates were coming on stage, that it began to become a lot more aggressive in the nature of how they were treating and handling black students.
We looked through video of the graduation ceremony and found white students dancing uninterrupted.
And terribly, by the way.
The university's president, Kent Fuchs, is apologizing.
We inappropriately physically rushed a number of students across the stage in one of our commencements. And I want to personally apologize for us doing that on behalf of myself and also the University of Florida.
But these students say the apology is a little too late.
It would have been a lot more sincere and effective if it happened while it was taking place. He was on stage literally feet away from those of us students getting pushed, and he did absolutely nothing to stop it.
And they can't relive this moment. They can't relive this. Like, they spent how many thousands of dollars to get pushed off a stage?
It's going to be funny when they show the video to the grandkids.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo.
Yeah.
We went through our own form of sit-ins.
Oh, my God.
And that was dancing during graduation.
Wow.
What do you guys take on this? Did they have any right to... I could understand the aspect, like I mentioned, of... They're trying to speed things up.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the ceremony going.
Stacy says, I thought this was an SNL skit when I first saw it.
It looked like it for real.
Sweet Mama says they should have went to a HBCU. Yeah. Yeah. I mean...
And plus, this is Florida, mind you.
Right.
This is Florida.
State that hates us.
I mean...
State that's crazy already anyway.
Listen, at the end of the day, especially, look, University of Florida, they're paying a ridiculous amount of money for that.
Nice state school. Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I have you got your money, right?
You're lucky I ain't do the worm across the stage.
Yo,
what y'all talking about? You know what I mean?
Mind you,
you'd have to pick me up for that. Good luck with that.
The debt you're going to have to pay afterwards, too? That's a good 10,
It'd
20
have
years.
been 4 demons trying to pick my big ass.
Then he gets the dance partner, Kid and Play style.
I know, right? Yeah, everybody say, hola. Yo, what?
Mr. Bino, please get off the stage.
You'd have seen the white bitch from the barbecue on the phone. What? Get him up here. She'd have called the cops to the barbecue.
Oh my!
To the graduation.
Man, it's been a rough week for you guys, man. It's been a rough
week. And we just
week.
here to flame the shit out of all of y'all.
Absolutely,
man.
Y'all need to cut it out, man.
Stop it.
Seriously, I really need to cut it out. All right, Sunday Morning Breakfast. Call us at 516-900-2278 or share a comment on the thread. We'll say it on the show. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, this whole new Childish Gambino video's got everybody talking.
Oh gosh.
But there's an aspect of it that people are kind of attacking. Two aspects of it, right?
I definitely know one of them that I have an issue with.
You do have an issue with this. All right.
There's only one part that I have an issue with.
Well, we'll talk more about this when we come back. Sunday Morning Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Why don't you sit down and shut up?
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, Sunday morning breakfast. Call us up 516-900-2278. We were just kind of talking off air about unfortunate situations, and I got to mention something before we move on. So obviously, it's a joyous occasion when you're having a kid being born, and it's so dope. It's supposed to be an exciting time, but there's just certain things I realize about this system in America. It just seems very. I believe in capitalism. I just don't believe that capitalism needs to be in certain industries, especially the health industry. So, Corinne's in labor. We get upstairs. She's like, oh, she's like, yo, this shit hurts. This is ridiculous. So we get to the triage. She's in all this pain, and they're like, oh, okay. Before anything, though, I know you're in pain, but you need to sign this paperwork.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You need to sign all this paperwork.
Yep.
I know it hurts. I know it hurts, dear, but you got to sign this paperwork. Yep. We can't let you in if you don't sign this paperwork. And I'm sitting there like, what if the baby's head was like ready to come out? You mean to tell me you wouldn't take her in?
Even crazier than that, the fact that she's not even in her right state of mind. What is she signing?
Exactly. Corinne was in no way in form asking or thinking about that.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I just want to get her in the room. So I'm not in the means of, hey, before we sign anything, we need to read this contract.
And black women need to be very mindful. We're the highest rate of women who pass during childbirth.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are the highest rate of women who pass away during
Which
childbirth.
affliction are we not the highest rated?
Right. The only thing
we're the
we're
first
not
to die
highest
in
in
movies.
welfare.
We're
like I'm telling
That's
you, you got to be
amazing, man.
very, very careful.
We're the
as
first
a
to get the
black
cops
woman.
called on us at barbecues.
It doesn't matter, man. Like, the inflictions are unbelievable. And it felt so out of touch. To be honest with you, like I said, I don't think you can put a price on bringing the process of bringing a kid into the world. Mm-hmm. I think as a hospital, or just the healthcare system in general, your first order of duty is making sure everybody ends up being safe and healthy at the end of the day. Right. And then, all right, if once money needs to be allocated, okay, then we'll talk to you afterwards. Correct. Once you're discharged. That to me makes sense.
Yes.
No, while she was still in the hospital, I guess this was
in labor.
No, well, in labor, so she gives birth on Monday. Somebody walks into the room and says, okay, they're breaking down what the insurance paid for and what we're responsible for. And then out of nowhere, she says, all right, well, do you have that money now? Are you ready to pay now?
Yes. She's supposed to take her wallet out.
Right.
I'm not
from
even
the gown.
Grab it from my bag and give it to you.
Right. Let me pull this out of my womb real quick. I got this stack.
Right. When my cousin passed maybe a year and a half ago, literally, she didn't even fully pass yet when somebody was in the room asking my aunt to sign papers for certain bills and stuff.
Right.
I was like, are you shitting me? Like, you don't know that somebody, and I had to tell my aunt to put me on speakerphone. I said, listen, you need to get out that room until we have a person who has peacefully passed.
Nobody's ever, first of all, you don't even want to think about, you're not thinking about your bank account when you're recovering.
You're not thinking about bills when your child has passed.
I think that was the glaring thing about that whole situation. Like, it's supposed to be such a joyous a time, and you're welcoming a kid, but for somebody to come in, and I get it, they're trying to do their job and they're supposed to be representing a company, But at the end of the day, you got to find a better way to process that than coming into the room with a woman who just gave birth and trying to ask her,
Exactly.
well, hey, can you make a payment right now?
Right, but even if you're doing a job, you have to know in the environment in which you work in.
Right.
That's another thing. It's
There's
like,
a
okay, I'm
certain
doing
tone.
my job, but there's a tone.
Yeah.
Somebody just you're really in a hospital to get better, to give life, or if some unfortunately lost life. You need to know that you don't just work in a building. You work in a hospital where life is given and life is taken.
There's got to be a way where you can disconnect the two,
Right.
and then not like listen.
medical.
I believe in universal health care. To be quite honest with you, does that mean I have to pay more in taxes? I have no problem doing that. If that means I got to pay an extra $100 or whatever $1,000 a year just to ensure that everybody in the country gets free health care and not have to worry about the bill afterwards.
Even y'all racist.
Here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even y'all that's the thing. And I know I'm going a little bit off, but the idea that you're putting a price on cancer. So somebody who gets cancer, it shouldn't be like, oh yes, chemotherapy is this much, and you got to come in this many times, and it's going to cost you this much, and that for something that they don't really ask for. Nobody asks to get cancer. Granted, if you smoke, okay, you know what's coming. Okay, but there are kids out there, adults out there who don't ask for this.
They don't ask for leukemia.
They don't ask for any of
They don't
that.
ask for stomach cancer.
And I
They
got to
don't
worry
ask for
about this
brain
bill.
Cancer.
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest thing that I took away from obviously the kid coming out was one, but there's this whole attitude between this capitalistic mind state and healthcare. It was just weird. It felt really out of touch. Anyway, so Childish Gambino comes out with this video. He premiered it on his appearance on SNL, which was really dope. And everybody's been talking about it. So much symbolism in the video.
Every part of it, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go take a look at it. And it's basically, there's so many hidden messages within it, from the guitar player who looked exactly like Trayvon Martin's dad to the gunshots of the character Childish Gambino's playing, where he shoots the choir. The running at the end,
The way they treated the gun with more respect than they treated the black
exactly,
people.
the dancing and all of that. There was just different aspects of this of this video that has caught a lot of people's attention. But one of the things that have come up is this idea of who the messenger is. So Childish Gambino is obviously putting a mirror towards America and being woke. Okay, whatever. But now people are questioning his wokeness because apparently he is not married, or he has kids with a woman who is not black.
Does that mean that you're not woke?
That's the discussion, I guess. I don't know. I don't know since when you're obligated. I know JT would say different, but and there are some people like that who believe if you're gonna be woke, then keep it within the bloodline as opposed to,
So that
going
I guess that
outside
means
of that.
Quincy Jones is not woke.
Oh, that boy was woke at the end, boy.
Forget Quincy Jones, Maya Angelou,
Right.
was married to a white dude.
Right.
Harry Belafonte, was
Married to a white woman.
Right.
Sidney Poitier.
Married to a white woman.
Again, you can't equate one with the other. Now, I will say this: if you're one of those super militant black people, fists in the air, why is ice cream white? That kind of motherfucker.
Right.
If you're that person and you're married to a white person,
Okay.
that's hilarious.
Okay.
Right.
I won't question your wokeness,
Right.
but it's still hilarious.
Right.
Milk and magnesia. Yes.
Exactly.
Right,
You're
right.
the dude off of I'm gonna get you sucker
Right,
with
right,
the
right.
white family. That's hilarious.
Right.
But if you're a regular person who just is conscious of what black people go through, or what people of color, I should say, go through.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you lay down with.
Because you gotta remember the idea of civil rights wasn't for black dominance. It was for equal rights, civil rights. We want to be treated like everybody else. We don't want to be treated better than anybody else, like you people on the other side are doing. We want to be all equal, and being equal means if I choose to date this woman because I like her, we get along, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Correct.
So, and what was the other dilemma or issue with the video release?
All right, so let me read it.
Right.
This is from someone named Asia Imani.
Okay.
Black woman. She posted this. Now it's a picture of Childish with his family, and his wife is white or whatever, or his girl's white or whatever, and he's holding his kid. So she says, let's just be honest. Black women are not attracted to the weird black guy. If you're different in any way, you're gay or weird. So people need to stop acting surprised when they are with an opposite race, because true enough, we wouldn't be attracted to them until they're famous. Dating outside your race doesn't make you less woke. Now,
pretty kind of connecting the two issues.
So this whole thing, yeah, exactly. Now this whole thing has opened the door on
I gotta turn the air on.
black nerd. Yes, get to that, so I highly encourage it, please. Yes. So now this whole thing, let me finish while he's doing that. So this whole thing brings up the whole black nerd argument. What are your thoughts on this issue here?
Honest, I can't call
because
it.
people are divided about it. Like,
well, what is a black nerd? I don't even know what does that mean.
So let's bring up the most famous black nerd who had an opinion on this.
Okay,
Steve Urkel,
Jaleel White,
correct?
Right.
So these kinds of guys, or basically just black guys who aren't considered the quote unquote typical norm as far as black guys go. They may.
What is the? I understand what you're saying.
So they may be skaters. They may not listen to rap. They may be. They may speak a certain way, like we discussed with Gudit earlier, as far as speaking quote unquote properly and not considered, speak without slang or have a less of a certain quote unquote cool factor.
Correct.
So now, are these guys constantly rejected by everyday black women, and then they find solace within other races?
Right. Well, because one of the things that had come up was the Pepper from Salt and Pepper had said that she liked Will Smith, but Will Smith was too nice of a guy for her. Thus, she wishes she would have followed through with that because obviously the future would have probably been brighter for her.
Right. Those rumors with her and Tretch and the domestic issues aren't.
Rumors, you say.
Right. Well, let's take this call real quick. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, what's good? It's Ziggs.
What's going on, Ziggs?
Ziggs, what's good?
What's going on? What's going on? Happy Sunday. All right, so my stream's a little behind, so I don't really know what subject you're on, but I was actually going to comment on the Childish Gambino situation.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
All right, so as far as the woman that came out with that statement, I believe it in the sense that, especially when it comes to a lot of weird people are usually the highly creative ones, and so it's like the highly talented ones, you see that the highly talented people that in this world are usually wind up dating outside of their race, which is the sad reality. So I can actually believe what she's saying.
Is this an attack on black women in saying that they choose to deal with the I don't want to say the roughneck, but the bad boy, or like he mentioned, the typical black man who's hard and emotionless and works the regular city job, and as opposed to that kid that who's very creative, likes Star Wars, into acting,
kind of meek, not aggressive,
likes to see musicals, likes the arts. Is that an attack on black women though?
Not entirely, but it's just a true fact that I've seen even with my own experiences. It's sad, but I believe that that we all need to open up a little more, step out of the zone, step out of the box, and accept us for who we are.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Thank you for the call. We appreciate the call, Ziggs. So let me ask Crystal though, because Crystal, listen, you date a very large
figure,
man,
large
figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he came from the mountains or some shit.
The guy is a WWE wrestler.
He came from Wakanda. He's one of the tribes.
Right.
No, but what would you describe him as, a creative, artsy guy, or
he's everything that he just mentioned about Star Wars and into he's all of those things, even though he doesn't typically look like it. Like, you know what I mean? He has a college degree. All of these things that people wouldn't assume because they're looking at him is all the things that what Ziggs mentioned, that's what my boyfriend is. But by looking at face value, you wouldn't see that. Yeah. If they're talking about appearance, I can somewhat understand that. But there's a lot of black women who are attracted to that. So I don't. I'm 50-50 on this one.
But do you understand understand where Bino's coming from?
Absolutely, I understand
and just the statement he read, the woman, the statement she said, where there is something to, there is that kid who, he doesn't have a car, but he'd rather go to the library or read a script, or he'd rather just watch a movie, or he's just very artsy dude. He'd rather paint as opposed to, because they're deemed hippies.
They're deemed hippies, but also look at the music and the culture that we come up with. There was nothing that said this is the person you're supposed to be dating.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Everything was geared towards, you want a roughneck, you want to be the down ass girl who got to deal with all her man, and you got to deal with issues, but you still love the thug in him. Like that was what was cool for so many years. That looking at the quote unquote good guy was never something to do.
You know what it is? You know what it is? People that actually like that type of behavior, where it's like rough or thug or something, whatever, it sets I think a value marketing wise, because they like the thrill of the challenges. Right. Some of them actually do it because they like to get in trouble. Some like to do it because they think they could change the person.
Right.
If a person that is opposite of that, it doesn't set an attraction that's appealing really, because they feel as though they're going to get bored easy.
But
that's the feedback I've been hearing.
The guys like Childish Gambino, and listen, we don't know him obviously personally, so we don't know how his whole demeanor is towards women or whether he's this, this type of guy. But obviously from what we've seen, he's the type of guy that women wouldn't be attracted to just for simply saying, he doesn't have that hard exterior. Like, he sings too.
Right.
Like, it's not considered masculine.
Correct.
Like, look at Drake.
That's what I was alluding to.
A lot of people get on Drake because he's always on some, all right, well, he sings and we rather hear the rapping Drake, and why doesn't Drake rap more? He's a sensitive dude, yet he gets all the women.
He gets every last one of them.
Yeah, he does.
That's real.
They love him.
He does.
Which is real.
If now you take the rapping aside from Drake, right? If you have a regular conversation with him over the phone, you hear how he sounds.
Right.
Would you find something like that attractive? If I'm speaking to the females.
I don't know. Aubrey Graham has never been my type, but.
Get what I'm saying?
But no, I just don't like light-skinned men like that.
The feedback I heard about Drake is that he sounds nerdy. He sounds like a white dude.
Well,
it doesn't sound like. That's what I'm saying. But the way
which proves the point of the original post. If he wasn't famous,
right?
Yeah.
Would he be?
But then it's also a shot in saying that only women outside the race only see the value of creative guys, or I don't even know what name you want to give that to, but like they're the only ones that really see the value in getting with a person like that. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Who the heck is calling?
Oh, let's take this call. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's good, man?
What's going on?
Blake,
what's good?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just calling in to talk about the Childish Gambino situation, and heard what y'all was saying about everything. Just in terms of like my personal experience, I'm a black guy, mid-30s, and my experience with black women. I was listening to what Crystal was saying, where she was saying that she thinks there are a lot of black women that are attracted to a lot of those things. And my experience has been different.
Okay.
And I can say that, my brother, my best friend, and several of my guy friends that, I've met in my adult life post-college have had similar experiences to mine, where we've been told that we act white, or we're not black enough, or we're too nice, or we're different, or not the type of guy that they would be interested in. And I even had one girl tell me that I need to date someone white.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm not going to lie. I had that feedback too.
Do you date white women, if you don't mind me asking? No, I really want to know.
Yeah, what would be your preference?
Mr. Me Too.
No, I agree with them. I relate to him. I'm not going to lie to you.
I too had a baby.
Go ahead.
So it's something that I've struggled with for a long time in terms of, because I've always wanted a black woman. And I went to, a predominantly black middle school, high school, HBCU, and I've always been that guy that just was never accepted for me.
Sorry to interrupt you, but what are the stuff that you're into? Like, are you into the arts? Like, what would you describe yourself as?
Yeah, I'm into the arts. I love country music. I love rap music too, but I love country music. I love ballroom dancing, swing dancing, things like that.
Okay.
That, that just are not typically a part of what's considered black culture.
That's fair.
And so, when I saw, the statement that the girl made, that tweet or whatever, I think there's often a rush to just become defensive about it, as opposed to really like looking at what she's saying. And is there any truth to it? And so it's easy to deflect, but the real question I think that people should be asking and discussing is, how is it, or rather, why is it that so many now successful black women, black men, are dating women outside of their race.
I feel like they've always dated outside their race. I don't think it's just now. I think that it's been a long time, especially with like athletes and stuff that we've seen that they've dated outside their race. But a lot of the time they were said to date outside their race because it was more of a hierarchy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
I don't know, man. Like, because now you're saying that we or those men look at dating outside of their race as a social status. Like, I got money now, so I could date lighter or whiter.
Here's the thing: if you're going to acknowledge that, then acknowledge those men who have come up within the black community.
Thanks for the call, Blake.
Yes. Thank you, Blake.
Absolutely.
Yes, have been ignored and say, you know what? They never wanted me then.
Yeah.
Now they want me.
Now they want me. It's true.
Because with any other demographic, when they describe their struggle, people acknowledge it.
Yep.
If this were a statement about transgender people and they say what they go through, people acknowledge it. These are black nerds or black guys who haven't been accepted, whatever, saying that what they go through, and now people, why are you bringing this up?
Yeah,
Don't be like that.
Yeah,
Like
True.
to put all that on black women, on every black woman is wrong.
Right.
But there is a demographic that thinks like that woman thinks. She's one of them. She's clearly saying it.
Yeah.
And she's clearly saying, like, look,
she's
stop
saying this is what I'm
fronting.
about.
Right.
So they do exist. So to sit here and act like, no, they don't exist.
Yeah, no, they do.
It's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, listen. The idea that people date those women outside of their race because they find it to be a step above, or they're lifting themselves in the.
Well, there are men who think like that,
and that's sad. I disagree with that. I mean, that's corny.
But there are also men who like, I've never been accepted by a black woman. Now that I got money, they all want me, and now I'm on TV, they all want me, and they feel that way.
And look what he said though. He's
and
into
Blake
ballroom.
said he wanted to date a black woman. He's wanted to, and they've never even really given him the time of day, and that's sad.
So are we saying those demographic of women? Because he mentioned he likes ballroom dancing, he likes country music. Are we saying that those women are pretty much closed-minded and trying new things? You may not like ballroom dancing, you may not like country music, but you can at least try it out. I mean, you might find something, connect with the guy.
Absolutely.
So Bakari's making a statement. He says the new trend is black women dating white men. I've seen that more and more. Example, Serena Williams. All right, so here's the deal. If you're going to mention that, then you have to acknowledge the other side of that coin.
Hello.
Like, it is what it is. You do, all right, anything in life, right? People don't acknowledge you. You come up, you have a certain level of resentment towards that.
Right.
You either build it to fuel your flame or whatever. This is no different.
Exactly.
If you feel a certain demographic has shunned you, then when you get to a certain level, now they want you. You remember when they didn't want you.
Exactly.
Period.
And that's with anything in life. That's with anything. If you get a promotion, you could go to the other place and be like, look, I wanted to do this, but you didn't want me, so now I'm here somewhere else.
So how much
Right,
how much resentment, how much
But I also know people who
get.
feel like dating outside of their race means they've come up, because people who would have normally accept them now accept them, and they're, you know what I mean? Like they've married into a family that there's no other black person there. I've known that I've seen that a couple of times.
And listen, like somebody like Childish Gambino, who has admitted like he grew up, well off. Like he wasn't rich, but he was. He had
suburban.
Yeah, he had his family had money. It wasn't. He just he loved the culture. He did acting. He wrote. He did stand up. Those type of guys don't necessarily, they get looked upon like a little bit like suckers because they're not the jocks, or they're not, they're not the hustlers, or, and then later on down the line, those women end up looking back and saying, man, I should have gotten with that guy.
My whole thing is the whole backlash against the statement. I'm even reading it in some of the comments now. Like, I hate that. The generalization part is wrong.
Right.
Like she said, black women.
Right.
And she's wrong in that regard.
Right.
There are a certain amount, though. There are some.
Of course.
Like, if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. But don't act like because you don't feel that way, others don't.
It's a lie, right?
Like someone made a statement, when I put it on my thread originally, someone made a statement about black men not liking darker skinned women.
Right.
Now, that shit don't apply to me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to act, that's not true because I don't feel that way.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Everybody has their own preference.
Right.
totally
I just told you, like,
but that every
but
demographic has their bullshit.
I'm like, I'm just not attracted to light skin.
It is what it is.
Right.
I mean,
I think maybe that's his preference though.
But I don't have a problem with this argument. Like people are talking about, it's divisive. Nah, let's bring it out to the forefront. Right. There's a reason why for years, nice guys filishing ass has been a term.
Yes.
Right. And look at
ABC's Friday Night was built on this theory. Family Matters is built on this theory. Is it not?
Absolutely. A lot of TV series are built on that theory. But the funny thing is, like, when you look at Pepper and from Salt and Pepper and her statement, and she's saying, well, Will Smith was just this clean-cut guy that, I wanted something a little bit harder, and now you're looking back at it and like, man, I should have gotten with Will Smith. kind of like, yo, he's worth $20 million, and like you kind of look worse for that.
Unfortunately, it's not even about the money. Look at how Tretch treated her, and look at how look at how he treats Jada. I know what you're saying about the money, but if you look at Will and Jada's relationship, they came from. I mean, they both had money, but look what they came from as people. Like, look at Jada before and look at her now. Mm-hmm. He helped this woman evolve into who she is. Yeah. She had a whole segment about him and her ex-wife, and that she was the other woman, and this is what she came into. And look at Peppa, like. Look at she's on, what is that? Not Love and Hip Hop, Growing Up Hip Hop. Right. Look at just the way she is in the media. Who would you rather sit down and have dinner with, Peppa or Jada?
There you go. But that's a perfect point, though.
Can I ask a question? Are they having the same conversation on the white side of the aisle? Like, are there women who? There are obviously women in every demographic that loves the bad boys.
Right.
They love the naughtiness, and then they grow up and they realize, you know what?
It ain't for them.
It wasn't for them.
You look at Johnny Manziel. You think that girl 10 years from now is not gonna be like, I should have just dated like the guy in the science class. Like, I'm having my ass whooped by him. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
I think it happens all the time. Whether I don't
know. They, believe it or not, they have their own issues. Right now, I was reading an article. Apparently, in the white community, the Trump supporters and the quote unquote conservative bros, they're not getting any ass.
Right.
It's that ass, yo. Like,
no, it's true.
Like the white women don't want them.
You know what they're doing? You know what they're doing? They're coming to us.
I'm going to you.
Speak for yourself. I'm about to say. Bro, put it right here, dog. Don't get me indicted.
No.
They're coming to us.
The attraction that they have is towards black people.
Bro, what? Who is this us you speak of?
It's a common. It's been studies on it that the fact that they do all this stuff is because of support, but what they do behind closed doors is really showing attraction towards us.
There is that perception of white women actually appreciating that a little bit more, like the black guy who's into the arts and who wants to go to the theater. Like, oh wow, yeah, Raheem likes to go see a Broadway play. My parents used to take me, and I think that's another thing.
That's what's up.
Their upbringing, they're shown that a lot earlier. Whereas, unfortunately, some African American kids aren't really shown that in the beginning, and they kind of have to develop that on their own. Yeah. Whereas that's kind of built. A Broadway show is a regular thing at the house.
Shit, I did Bronx Tale and Felek, and that's it.
It's so funny because the person who introduced me to Broadway was my boyfriend. He's like, I love the arts. I want to go. We go to plays. We go to musicals. We do all of these things together that I never did with any other black man that I dated.
But
it wasn't something of interest to them.
But they learned that earlier on, so that's why that kid in college or high school who's more like that black kid who's more artsy or whatever, they find a little bit more of appreciation for him because, oh wow, Raheem wants to go with me to see a play, and that's dope. And oh, he's cool as well. Like, oh my God, these black people are normal. What?
Like, and it's a lot of people have to realize, like, some people don't think out the box because when they were younger, a lot of parents did what they could afford. The plays weren't what they could afford.
Yes.
The movies as a matinee is what they could afford. So sometimes when your taste is stuck in one little position, you can't really, like experiment with other things.
All right, let's get off of this. Sunday morning breakfast, a great discussion though, and we'd like to thank the callers for calling in and sharing their point. Listen, ballroom dancing doesn't really. I've never been into that, but if that's something you're into,
want to take a class? We can video it.
I would do it.
No,
I would do it.
I'll be videotaping.
I'm not. I've never.
I'm an uncultured swan, and I admit that. I'm not really with all that.
No, but you'll go to a Broadway show though.
Yeah, but again, it's like Cats or something. It's not Phantom of the Opera here. Please.
Can we go to break?
What's wrong with Cats? There's nothing wrong with Cats.
It's no one's Romeo and Juliet here by any means. Please. The thrilling theatrical event.
Cats.
Yo, my girl be annoyed when I do that.
Go ahead. Go to the bathroom. All right, Sunday morning breakfast.
Anyway, back to Cats.
We'll be.
Oh, this show.
Was that commercial not 15 years long?
Yeah,
right. What?
They were all coming from
at the end of it. They're all.
That's Crystal Ghost.
That's where Cosby stole that 15 from.
Man. I'm not touching that. Sunday morning breakfast. We'll be right back.
People solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me. Visit the secret panda village? Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda. I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly golf.
Awesome! Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, Sunday morning breakfast. News of the Weird segment. I think I have a virus on my computer. I didn't know. I didn't think.
How do you have a virus on a Mac?
Yeah, I know.
What were you watching?
Yo, mind you, what the?
As we have the weird music in the background.
I know, right? What in the
dirty ass computer?
Yeah, sticky. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So this really ill. Grow up. Listen. So, news of the weird. So, let's talk about this stalker. Okay, from Arizona. So this woman went on one date with this guy. One.
I love her.
Why? So she goes on one date with this guy, and I guess it didn't go so well. I guess he didn't return her calls or return her texts. But she ended up falling in love. So much so that she ended up breaking into the man's home and sending 65,000 texts to his phone. 31-year-old Jacqueline Claire Age of Phoenix told reporters she met the victim through an online dating service and went out on 3 dates with him. Okay, 3, all right. Police say after the first one, she began sending him thousands of texts, breaking into his home and showing up at his workplace claiming to be his wife. What the I felt like I met my soulmate. I thought we would just do whatever everybody else did, and we would get married and everything would be fine.
Do they sleep together?
Let's read the rest. I'm not really sure. She didn't deny the number of texts, but wouldn't get into specifics. Age did admit she regrets the nature of some of the messages. I think we have audio from her as well. Let me play
the greatest video on earth.
Chill out. Like you're championing this woman way too much.
From her jail cell, Jacqueline Ades says she's still infatuated by a man she went on 3 dates with, whom she met online.
Look at her face.
I felt like I met my soulmate and everything was just the way it was, and I thought we would just do what everybody else did and we would just like get married and everything would be fine.
But then cops say Ades was caught trespassing at the guy's Arizona home several times after telling them he didn't want anything to do with her anymore. Turns out police say she sent him about 65,000
That's a lot of text messages.
Writing disturbing things like, "Oh, what would I do with your blood? I'd want to bathe in it. And I'd wear your skull." Ades is charged with multiple crimes, including threatening, stalking, and harassment.
That's it?
I'd wear your skull?
No, there was a part in the interview
Chainsaw
when they
Massacre
were like, well, are you going to move back home? She's like, if he would want me to, I guess I would. Like, she's crazy.
Yo, quick change the subject. What the hell going on in this thread? So Trini Mon says, I'm a nerd too. Carol Ross says, we know you're a nerd, Trini Mon, but are you a freak?
Woo!
Bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday morning.
What in the love connection?
It's not even 12 yet. It's 5 minutes to noon.
Guys.
And just keep my Trini pup away from y'all shit. What's wrong with y'all? Anyway, back to the other story of the weird.
What in the subliminals are going on, man? 11:55 a.m.
Is Trini Man really a nerd?
Trini
though?
Man didn't answer.
Yeah,
All he said was
Trini
LOL.
Man's an IT guy. Can you imagine?
Thank you. There you go. That answers your
Maybe he
question.
can fix your little porn problem here on your.
Yeah.
Nobody said porn. I
What
just
do
said
you
a
be doing
virus.
on
Oh, okay.
Jerk.
Yes.
Mind your business.
Yo.
All right, I think here's what you were talking about.
And I thought we would just do what everybody else did, and we would just like get married, and everything would be fine.
Okay, she said that already.
Class 5 felony. Threatening and intimidating as a Class 6 felony, and harassment by communication as a Class 1 misdemeanor. Court's going to appoint a lawyer to represent you in this case. Your next court date will be a status conference May 15th.
65,000 text messages. That's like
That's
high-level stuff.
That's it?
To me, it seemed like more.
Seemed like more than 65,000?
To me, yeah. That's
Isn't that kind of excessive?
love is an excessive thing.
Do you understand why people think this is a little bit out there?
Oh yeah.
Are you a crazy person?
No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm the person that discovered love.
Are you going to leave him alone?
If he wants me to.
Has he asked
See?
you to leave him alone?
I don't want to talk about those things.
Why did you go to his business on Friday and tell everybody there that you were his wife?
I don't want to talk about that.
Can we ask?
Yo, this chick is crazy. I'm sorry.
Lock her under the. I mean,
You said this was your hero. I don't know
Yo,
what in
you
the.
love. I think the
She said
most
she
text
discovered
message
love.
I've ever sent. But you know, I send a lot of text messages when I'm mad. I don't really send them like any other time.
Has there been any person, and this goes for everybody, has there been that one girl or guy that made you like, yo, I have to get you, and I'm kind of obsessed with you?
No.
Sending
No.
text
No.
messages to that degree.
No.
That's.
Cut it
No.
down.
To allow somebody to have that much
No.
power over you, that's.
But they went. It's weird because it says they went on 3 dates. After the first one, she sent numerous texts. And then you still went on 2 dates, which means I think he got some.
But that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I think he
if
got some,
If,
and-
if she started this craziness after 1 date, you go on 2 more with her. He had to give up. He had to give up the nook. He did. He gave it to her.
Kara Ross upon
Oh, man.
her Trinimon foolishness says she's the type to go shoot up the workplace after she gets fired. And Stacy asks a great question. So why did she get a press conference for being a stalker? Who set this up?
Right. That's
True
that's
story.
a very
Like,
that's a very good question. Why would anybody say it? Well, I would kind of want to hear what she has to say too, though. Here are some of the other texts. Don't ever try to leave me. I will kill you. I don't want to be a murderer.
I didn't know she was that bad.
I hope you die, you rotten, filthy Jew.
oh, anti-Semitism too?
Oh no, you're not my hero anymore.
Yeah, no, you want to keep you want to stay on that
No.
bandwagon?
Backtrack now. Yes.
Take that back.
Your moonwalking ability is
What?
amazing. I'm like the new Hitler. Man was a genius. I wonder who she voted for. I'd wear your fascia in the top of your skull and your hands and feet.
What?
Oh, what I would do with your blood, I'd want to bathe in it. Yeah.
Yes.
And she says, I'm the person that discovered love. If he wants me,
Need to discover solitary confinement. But yes, got it.
yeah. If he wants me, if the victim wants me to go to jail, I should go to jail. She then said, he's the meanest person I've ever met. He's my soulmate.
Wow.
What in the...
Yeah.
Nah, keep this girl locked up. I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't.
Danielle says psycho.
Nah, that's.
That's a little more than psycho.
I mean, what was the line? The Jew part? That was everybody's.
When did
line.
everyone get disgusted? Yes.
Oh my God. Not attacking the Jew.
No, of course not.
Oh my God, not there. That's
Kara
where.
Ross says a stalker is scary and that you should trust her on this.
I still want to find out what's going on with Trini
Exactly.
Man.
Why don't you stalk us with that information?
Yeah, for real.
Trinimon After Dark. I want to know what's going on there. You know what I mean?
By the way, so I mean, didn't we discuss having some type of dating show with Trini Man or somebody or on a
Yeah,
right.
Well, we were gonna
call
do a
it
dating
Flavor
show.
of Trinimon. Yes.
Flavor of Trini Man?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So are we gonna do that? Can we still do that?
I don't see why not. Trinimon.
By the way, so we have
Who's
this.
gonna find the girls?
Guys, first off, and two,
them sugar.
That's right.
We have to. You know,
we'll have 3 of them come in. You know, we'll sit them down there. And
well, we have the other studio now, so we can kind of
right.
We can work that out. Yeah.
Trinimon will ask them the ingredients of roti and all
this
kinds
month.
of shit, and we'll work that out.
Wow,
that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be great.
We'll have him and Trini Pup sit down and.
Do
be
we
the
need to get a
judges.
translator though? That's extra money.
I can translate.
Clearly.
I can translate.
You can translate?
I can translate.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. wow, we're really gonna do this.
Do this, yo.
Trini Mom might not be talking to me though.
Is there
Trini Mom says you're not invited to his Flavor of Trini Mom show.
That's okay, Trini Mom.
Is there a part of the show where Trini Pup does an interview with the contestants?
That'd be great. Who can pet her the best?
Yes.
What is he gonna when he wants to like get rid of them? What is he gonna like not give them?
No, he needs a tagline.
He needs like he needs to give them
Like
like, a roti,
oxtails.
like a roti.
You're off the board, man. Something.
You don't get
something
a roti.
exactly. Yes, it's gonna be great. Carol Ross says no, it won't be fun. Okay, Carol Ross.
You're off the board.
Player hater degree over here, Miss Ross. Jesus. What?
So it's like The Apprentice, and Trini Man sitting there across the contestants.
Yes.
Cheryl,
you stay.
Cheryl, we're off the boat.
No, Cheryl, you're gone.
You're gone. Yes.
You're gone.
No, I like off the boat.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done, no.
Your journey's over. It's gonna be a great time, though. Trini man.
Oh,
Yo,
that should be
That's
the
the theme.
That's definitely the theme.
That's the thing.
Yes. Whoa.
Sing it one time.
Clips of the different women feeding him and shit. It's gonna be great, yo.
They're gonna be feeding him all types of Trinidad and Meal, Royal Castle, everything else.
So here for it, yo.
Oh man, so some of the
Erica O'Neil says deuces and doubles. Exactly.
deuces deuces and doubles. Wait a minute. So some of the games that we have to play, obviously we put the contestants we line them up and we let Trini Pup down on the floor, and whoever Trini Pup runs to, they get to stay.
You know what? I feel you on that.
That's pretty dope. Okay, 1, 2. You have to cook a traditional Trinidadian meal.
But in order for that to work, it has to be different races of women here. So we need a white guy.
Yeah, a white guy.
Yes, a Trini guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I guess we get American or Spanish girl or whatever. We're gonna work that out.
Right,
You know what I mean?
but you have to cook a traditional Trinidadian meal too.
Well, that's not fair because the Trinidadian girl gonna win with the Trinidadian meal.
You'd be
She gonna call
surprised.
her grandmother.
But okay, so then we do
She'll
other
call
things. Then
grandmother.
we do other
Okay.
things that make it even. So who's the first one to call the police in the park? We do
Right,
that. You know what I mean? And then the white gala win that. You know what I mean? So like we do.
Zig said he's gonna say shut your fist, you're done.
These are typical Trini man.
All right,
As he
wait.
shakes his head on the thread.
So
yes.
wait a minute. So Trini man sitting there on the conference table and he's looking at the women. Shut your face, you're done.
Yes.
Yo.
Nah, I like you're off the boat. like you're fired. You're off the boat.
I love
like
the
that.
brainstorming during the show. I love the. So
Trini man gonna be like, yeah,
for those of y'all, this is what we do during our post and pre
Yeah.
meetings. You get access to this. Exclusive. Yes.
Yo, we
Wait,
have
Because the
is
best is
Trini-
y'all gotta
wait,
make this
wait,
happen.
Wait, before this starts, is Trini man dating anybody now? I mean,
No,
this is
I don't think
totally
so. Right?
Apparently,
Is
it's
he?
about to happen as
I
we
don't
see in
know.
the feed.
No,
Yo.
Trini man, yeah, exactly, yo. Whatever's going on with him and Carol Ross right now, yo.
The game's already over.
And she hating too. She's already boo your show. I hate your show already. We just talking about this shit.
All I'm
Trini man
saying
a
is,
freak?
if this gets picked up by VH1, it's solid gold.
We're rich.
And I'm suing
We're
the
gonna
shit
need-
out of them.
Don't-
If they try to steal from us, yo, I promise you.
The funny thing is they don't have subtitles with the ball going,
Yes.
going on the words.
There's gonna be a coconut tree somewhere in the background.
Loving hip hop
everywhere.
Trini, yes. I can't wait.
There's
yo.
gonna be a little lady in the corner translating for everybody.
Oh, word. Yeah.
This is gonna be a great time, yo.
Now we have to make that happen now. Like I'm dead serious.
That's what
We have
Cousin
to,
Pat
For those
said,
for those
gotta
of y'all,
make
if y'all
this
want this Trini show, please, yo, leave
let us,
a comment
let us
show,
go.
You know what I mean?
Do y'all want us to do this right now?
Okay, because we won't.
Yes
do it.
or no's right
we'll
now.
just keep
Send us-
doing power reviews. Let us know. You know what I mean?
We can do that.
We ain't got shit to lose. You know what I mean?
Not at all. So listen, let us know on the thread right now, a yay or nay for the Trini Man Love Show.
That's right. It'll be our third show, our
Can I be
spin-off.
the moderator?
Absolutely, you can do
Actually,
it.
I'll be the voiceover artist.
Nah, you got
I need you to sing the theme.
Nah, yeah. Trini Man,
Man.
that's Trini Man,
Yeah.
Trini Man. And then they have to have a meeting with us to see if they're worthy of getting with Trini
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I think that's only fair.
There's a casting call. We're gonna all be at the casting call.
I can't wait for that.
They have to sit there and we have to basically vet them and make sure they're all cool.
If they say the word man, they're out of here.
Nah,
I
yeah.
want man
Man,
at
we
all
need
times,
man.
yo.
Yeah, we
I
need
hear
man.
that A, they're out of here. Corinne already says yay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do this, man. A Trini for love show.
We got a comment from someone saying, screw y'all. I assume that's Trini Mon.
Pamela says yay. PL Scott says yay.
I think the
That
votes
seems
are
like
in.
3 A's to
Exactly.
1
The votes
screw
are in,
y'all.
Yes. The votes are in.
There's one go fuck yourself, but the rest, everyone else says yay. Erica O'Neil says do it.
Yeah.
Stacy says yay.
What
Even
is-
gave
no.
us the hand emojis.
What does Carol
Wow.
Ross think though?
Oh no, sorry. Again,
Carol?
All of a
she
sudden
got a
quiet.
PhD, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Oh man,
Straight hater players ball. Okay, please, yo.
she was no parts whatsoever. I can't wait.
She
for
could be
the
one
show.
of the contestants.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You
sure.
earn your Trini Mon. This ain't.
Yeah, you won't just give Trini Mon
Exactly.
to anybody.
What you think?
You got to put in work for that.
Danielle says yes to do the show. J-Lex says yes. Trini Pup says yes.
Yes.
Sunday morning, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with sit down winners and losers for this week. We'll be right back.
Whoa.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me. Visit the secret panda village? Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda. I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly gong.
Awesome! Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE, or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Why don't you sit down and shut up?
What? Why don't I sit down and what?
I said, why don't you sit down and shut up?
Sit down and shut up!
Sit down and shut up. Sit down and shut up.
Sit down and shut up! Sit down and shut up!
Sit down and shut up. Sit down and shut up!
Yes. Sit down segment winners and losers for the week. What's today? May 13th.
Yes.
Let's start off with winners. Bino, who is your winner for this week, sir?
My winners are babies, ladies and gentlemen. As in my life here, I've seen 3 babies born this week.
Nice.
Yours being the first.
Thank you.
My best friend James, he just had a daughter, Brooklyn, absolutely adorable. And my cousin, she had a daughter as well yesterday.
Right.
So we just want to pay homage to love, marriage, and babies here. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
That's right.
It's wonderful. All right. Thank you very much. Voice, who is your winner for this week? By the way, when is the second baby coming? When's that happening?
So winners.
Wow.
Wow.
That cutoff was crazy.
Wow.
What? That cutoff, yo, your car's like off the cliff.
Don't let him cause an argument in your family.
Yeah, you know,
Wow.
You know what?
So back to winners. I'm going to give it to the Black Panther cast, the entire cast, for going to the Met Gala and pretty much turning up and being the main attraction at the gala. And also I want to give in particular Mr. Chadwick Boseman. He was in Howard University where he graduated to do a commencement speech and inspired a lot of the people there.
Dope,
he definitely had some words of wisdom to say, so definitely shout-outs to Mr. Boseman.
Yes. Crystal, who is your winner for this week?
My winner for this week goes to all the mothers.
Yes, shout out all the moms
Thank
out there.
you for dealing with your kids.
Absolutely.
Whether they are in a good mood or a bad mood.
Yes.
Always being there and always being the first and the last person that they call.
That's dope,
Happy
man.
Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Yes. Heartwarming. Likewise, I'd like to send my winner for this week to Corinne because she was unbelievable in the labor department, delivery department. It's been unbelievable. So thank you. She was a rock star. So 2 pushes, pow, boom, Martin style, caught it midair.
That's how you caught Jackson midair?
Straight Randy Moss. So lifted her up a little bit, bow, overhand. Very easy.
So y'all are a team and everything you
That's
do.
it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? It was simple, man. Caught him one-handed too. That was amazing. Losers for this week. You know, who's your loser for this week, sir?
So, my losers are Emily B and Fabulous.
Oh, man.
So, apparently they had their court hearing this week in regard to the domestic violence situation.
And who was there?
Emily B was. They were a united front.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's great.
Lemon. Yes. Sorry, let me turn that off.
Yes. So, yeah, Emily.
And here's the problem with that. I mean, we all... Listen, none of us know exactly what happened. Obviously, with the allegations that she had said had gone on.
And that video ain't help situation.
It didn't help at all.
So if it was true that he's putting his hands on you, this was your out. The world knew you would have some sort of support. But you're a ride or die chick. I'm just hoping you're not a die chick messing around with this dude if he's really putting his hands on you. So
after doing all that, though, to be honest with you, you put him on camera, you're trying to put him in trouble, and you're gonna be side by side with him.
How embarrassing is that?
That is
for both of them.
For some women, it's tough.
I get it.
For
but
some
again,
women, it is.
You
tough.
crossed the line by doing that, though. You try to ruin his career if you think about it.
No. When he put his hands on
When
her,
he put his hands on
yes, and you wanted back. You wanted to hurt back.
Listen,
You hurt a man's pockets.
certain
It's
women,
like certain things you can't come back from.
There's certain women who it's hard for them to separate themselves from situations like that, even if they get beat or not. It's just tougher for them.
Which tells me that this is not the first time.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then, but the problem is that when we see it happen again, and we hope we don't, but if this does happen again,
they're gonna turn a blind eye to her.
Exactly.
No, we're gonna be desensitized.
Unfortunately, I don't know if people are gonna turn their back on her.
They're gonna be desensitized to it.
They'll be like, "Well, listen, you had an opportunity to leave and you never left. You wanted to stay by your man," which is cool, but understand the consequences of that action. That's it. All right, Voice, who's your loser for this week?
It's going to sound a little controversial, but I have to do it this time. I got to give it to our white people.
Oh, man.
I have to.
White people in the thread are in the uproar. All two
maybe, but you got to hold yourselves to a standard and be accountable as well.
Mm-hmm.
This past week, I'm sorry, this was an alarming number of events that were consistent with the same type of message.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to try to enforce some type of power, and in the way that you're doing it, expect that we are going to either probably, we're going to retaliate, or it's going to be a situation where a war can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you are trying to enforce your power by using the police officers like you have, understand that it will backfire on you later on. Come with another way to figure out exactly what the solution is going to be, and let's come together and work together if there's a possibility.
Please listen. At the end of the day, they don't want that. They don't even want that interaction. That's why they call the police. So it's easy to say, hey, you could just have a dialogue with us, or you could ask us questions personally. But, you know, there's just certain people out there who believe they're better than us, and they have the power to get rid of us in certain ways. And unfortunately, that woman in Oakley found out that she just ended up looking like an idiot.
Yes.
It's just that simple. You get first of all, two guys. It started with two guys barbecuing. Now you got the whole family outside.
Bro, there's nothing more friendly than someone barbecuing.
Right.
Because they always offer you food.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the fear?
Now you got the hammer dancers out there with you.
Exactly. Now look what you've done.
Look what you've done.
3, 5, 7, and up. Too legit. Yes.
Like, you started all this.
I know, right?
You should have just left them alone.
And they came back in droves. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think that's one of the biggest things about this generation or this time that we live in is that people can't get away with it anymore.
No.
People say it's an uptick in hate crimes, an uptick in nuisances like this. No, there's just more phones.
That's
more
all
video
just
cameras.
video.
We discovered
shit.
the button called record, and now we're just recording it, and now we're seeing it for what it is. Before, people would tell these stories and be like, "Oh, come on, you're over exaggerating."
Yes.
Now you're seeing it firsthand. Crystal, who's your loser for this week?
My loser for this week is a representative that I got in JetBlue this morning. So you know how they have the family pooling? So I was trying to family pool with my boyfriend to get some tickets. And I told her, for anyone who doesn't know, when you do it, there's only one head of household that can do it, and you can't switch it until a year after.
Right.
But obviously, I made the mistake, and I was like, I called them to say, listen, I didn't do it but 10 minutes ago, and I just want to change it. So she was like, no, you can't change it. You have to wait a year. And I was like, well, can you erase the account? Obviously, I did it. She was like, what's the big deal? So I said, you know what? Obviously, she was black.
No.
I said, can you do me a favor?
Damn.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
That good old Shirley customer service.
Oh, she was Haitian. Her name was Miriam.
Oh, gosh.
So I was like, Miriam, can you do me a favor? Can I speak to a supervisor? Why you want to speak to a supervisor? I said, I want to speak to a supervisor because you're telling me that what I want to be done cannot be done. I've been a loyal customer of JetBlue for over 10 years, and I just want to speak to a supervisor. Do you know, as soon as the supervisor got on the line, she was like, well, you didn't do the family pool properly anyway. I'm happy to redo it for you. Why you just couldn't do it, Miriam? Why do you have a stink attitude on this good Sunday?
Crystal, it's crazy you say that. I feel like, and I'm going to sound like an old guy, but I feel like the generation of, or the customer service aspect of life is really diminishing.
It is.
I feel like people don't know how to do customer service anymore.
No.
I agree with that.
And I feel like they feel like, well, why do you want to speak to? And then she says to me, well, if you want to speak to a supervisor, I need to give them a reason why I can't transfer it.
Look, you say this generation, I think customer service amongst a certain demographic has always been suspect.
Man.
I can totally agree with
Sorry.
Really?
But I'm like, I really wanted to say to her, like, is this coming out of your pocket? I made a mistake. Like, he needs to be head of household. She was like, well, if your husband needs to be head of household, you should just put that. I said, can you please transfer me to a supervisor?
So hold on, let me ask this question.
Wow.
So, you mean that if you call a customer service line and a woman by the name of Rashida picks up, you're a little, you already know the results.
Yo, I've been to soul food restaurants. Y'all know I like my drinks.
Right.
So now it's time for round 2. Excuse me, can I? Oh, you just wait till I'm done.
Yeah.
Yo, I went through the same thing at the post office.
Sister Hunter's tip will be waiting too in my pocket. Like, slow your roll. There's a reason why you are a service.
Or the best is when you go to a Jamaican restaurant and they don't want to
Oh
give you
my God.
gravy on your oxtail.
So
give my gravy, please.
Go ahead and write your little letters. It's true.
It is true.
It is so true. For whatever reason, we are funny in waiter and waitresses type of. Everyone is either Mr. Gaines or damn Shirley. One or the other. This is a fact.
The lady was
What's the
so
meme?
nasty.
Debate me. This is a fact.
No, it's real, because if you go to a Golden Crest or you go to one of those small Caribbean spots and you ask for something, first of all, God forbid, you look them in the eye. Can I have oxtail? We don't have oxtail no more.
Yeah.
Yo,
didn't y'all just open?
I imagine I'm going in the background. Can you believe this guy asked me for his meal? For another drink? Can you believe him? And the other waiters and the cooks are like, what the nerve of him?
Yeah, it's true.
Never fails.
I'm telling you, the lady was so, and I said to her, like, I obviously made a mistake. I did it less than 10 minutes ago. You can check it. Well, you can change it for a year. And I'm like, no, like, I need to change it right now. Because, first of all, I'm trying to give you my money to book a flight. Like, what is wrong with you?
Even in the calf in my job, yo. Like, you ask for a salad or something of this nature, yo. they give you about 800 pounds of lettuce and 2 pieces of meat.
Yes.
I had to ask the dude straight in front of brother. I had to ask him. I said, yo, you don't mind? Are you taking this home to your family? Like, you don't mind putting? If I'm gonna pay $10, it's not gonna be for a bag of lettuce here. Like, cut it the hell out. Like,
when a head of lettuce is $2.
bro, they stingy. Son, what?
Yo, it's crazy. I mean,
Nah, son,
I can't deny it.
Look,
man.
look here, B. If the conservatives want to get on that about black people, I can't. I'm kind of right there with them. I'm cool training with them, dog. Like, please.
And then you could tell that the supervisor was like, "Don't worry, it's already been done." Like, she was annoyed that it had to be escalated to her.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if I did not escalate it, and she's like, "Well, why do you want to talk to the supervisor?"
man.
But that's not even her right to ask you that. Why do you want to just put the supervisor on? Why do you
You
want
should
to
just
talk?
immediately. No problem. I'll get
I
them
was
right
so
now.
disappointed in us today. I was disappointed because
You must be new. Because that disappointment is on a regular.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
Nah, man, you do bring up a good point. You go to these Caribbean restaurants and they just have this. They suck their teeth and it's like, yo.
The lady was like,
"So you got this energy over my hot fries? Like, really?
You got this energy over my oxtail.
No,
you know, oxtail is from heaven."
But I can see you
God
acting
forbid
that way
have
at
to extra
McDonald's.
plantains. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We only come
That's
with
why
2. Anything else would be extra.
I hate
like,
to say it.
so you're gonna.
Sometimes I don't support these people. I
Oh.
go over there. No.
What do
I'll
you
tell
mean
why.
by these people?
No, these types of people that you are mentioning at this
Your
point.
people, you mean?
Well, they
Yes.
need to take your
No, I'm
leadership
talking
course.
about these types of behaviors. I've gone through them. I had the bad experience. I will never give them business again. I give them a shot, and once I get that bad customer service, I'm sorry, I'm going to Rockville Center.
And mind you, I'm OD nice to people
Absolutely.
messing with my
My
food
food.
because I don't
Yeah.
want pubic hair and other
Yo,
nonsense
when I
over
tell
my
you,
meal.
I never return my food. I'm not a return food because you know what? I don't want it to be like, excuse me. No, listen, I'm just gonna take what I got here because I'm too scared. If I go to the grill and they mess in my order, I'm just gonna eat what they messed up.
They're a little funny with the. Listen,
Same.
and again, I love my black people. Y'all know this.
And I love to support those businesses. I like to
But
buy the
Jesus Christ.
But there's a give and take, though. If you want to support a business, you got to support me as a customer.
It's going to
Let's
get to the
take
point
care
where they
of each
tell you
other.
to cook your own damn meal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go in the kitchen and help yourself.
You want extra gravy? There's sauce in the
Exactly.
back. Like,
Yo.
what?
It's in a business. It takes one.
You got
bad
gravy at
customer
home.
Service experience. It takes one bad customer service experience, and that's it.
Last
have
night
that- I
I
have
went
that
to
same stance.
Uber. I went to Uber Eats some Jamaican food. Everything on the menu was sold out. I said, so why you have anything on the menu?
Yo,
It
close
was
the
like,
shit.
sold out, sold out, sold out. I'm like,
Tomorrow's another day. What do you have? Toast.
everything was sold out. I'm like, why is everything on this menu sold out?
Oh man, nah, you bring up a good point. I don't think they've ever realized the importance of inventory.
No.
If white people from Starbucks got to go to that racial sensitivity training,
So
Maybe black people
maybe
need to do it.
Sylvia's can have a.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pit and Sylvia's can have a customer service day.
Hold on, get Mr. Gaines over here and tell Mr. Gaines how to treat his customers.
What? Some of them will have heard the word thank you and please for the first time.
Yo,
Yes.
don't ask for no pea soup, yo. All right,
I'm sorry.
My loser goes out to that neighbor out in Rialto, California, who called the cops on the 3 Airbnb users.
Oh, yes.
So they were staying in a home, and so she saw them leaving. It was their last day. They were leaving with their luggages, and she felt so threatened that she had sold luggage. She thought they were robbing the house.
Right.
First of all, who robbed the house?
In
all
the damn
slow?
Samsonite, yes.
With the Samsonite, all
Right.
slow. And so this is what she said as far as why she decided to call the cops.
Let's listen.
Well, I walked out here and, just to check the mail, and I see these strange people coming in and going back and forth, with luggage, and I didn't recognize them.
What made you think they were strange?
Because they had luggage in their hand and they weren't really looking at me. They just kind of avoided me, or they didn't wave, like neighbors normally do. And I noticed the couple that were in there that owned the house, and I didn't recognize them.
Your reaction to what you hear from...
Yeah, so she says that they looked strange.
Yeah.
Because they were holding luggage and they didn't look at her.
Like neighbors do.
Right, of course.
Exactly.
Listen, going back to that debate, there's another issue I have with old school Caribbean people. Yo, you do not own the parking spots in the streets.
Yes.
Stop putting fucking Con Ed cones on these parking spots.
It's illegal too.
Yo, let me tell you
Oh
something.
no, I agree.
Let me tell you
I've
something,
debated
man.
in my own house about that.
I live in look. I like the neighborhood. I think it's nice. The most of the demographics black and it's great or whatever. A black suburb, but there's old school Caribbeans who are in the streets who like to put their garbage cans or their Con Ed
Which
cones,
is illegal.
which is illegal, to claim a parking spot. So what me and Corinne do is
you move them.
We move them, or I run them over. Corinne is petty. Corinne runs it over. She goes around the block again with it under the truck, lets it scrape on the floor, and then parks in the spot.
Yes.
That's another thing. Like, Maybe we have a Caribbean problem.
Listen, I hold my family accountable. My father did the same exact thing. You know what they did?
Nah, you can't do
You know
that,
what they did?
man.
You know what they did? They took them cones and put it right in our grass.
Oh yeah,
Parked
I've
right
seen
over
that.
there. I would do the same thing.
I mean,
we don't own the street.
It's going to get to the point. I'm going one night. I'm just gonna walk around the block and just start taking these cones.
Yeah, you
That's
can take
it.
You can take a wild guess as to who probably did that, right?
Your white neighbor's gonna call the He was stealing the cones. I can't wait.
I mean, you don't own. You don't pay for a parking
You don't
spot.
pay for the street.
The only time I respected it is if it snows and you shoveled it out. And yo, you got it.
You got it.
I'm never gonna do that.
I'll agree and disagree at the same time. Listen, we work together as neighbors. We literally help each other out.
No, do you
Yeah.
talk to your neighbors?
Yes.
It's different.
Yes.
If
I
you
make sure I
talk to
shake
your
every one of them
neighbors,
hands.
That's shaking hands and talking.
And
to
we
them
work
is
together.
different.
It's the same
kisses them
thing.
on both of their
I
cheeks.
shake all their hands. I have a vibe conversation with them all the time to make sure we keep dialogue, especially when it comes to situations like that. We have to work together in the slope.
Didn't you fight your neighbors though? Weren't they there?
Yeah,
with
that
you?
was
Because of you know who. Because of the person that put the cone in the street.
Your father?
Correct.
Whoa, so that's why we almost got in a brawl that night over that shit?
That beef started
That
because
was
of
at the boxing thing?
The beef started because
You
of
mean
that.
to tell me we was ready to fight because of something that I'm truly opposed
Yo,
of? That
it
your
was
father
like
did?
20 of us, yo.
Yeah.
It'd have been crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
And I've actually got into debates in the house because of it. Because
You don't
If I never asked
you don't
I
own
would
the
never
street.
found out.
You do not own the street. You cannot do that. And plus, mind you, the most upsetting thing about this is that they have large driveways.
Yes.
You could put 3 cars in their driveway.
Yes.
And they still trying to own these parking spots. One woman came to my door with a little girl yelling. Talking about, whose camera is it on my parking spot? I own this my parking spot. I've been here for 30 years. Bitch, I don't give a fuck how long you been here.
Yeah.
Corinne says, babe, tell them about the old man.
Oh, the old man.
I love the babe. I can't, yo.
Yo, this
They're
happened.
in love now. They just had a baby.
I know, right?
I know, we're back in there.
So she don't acknowledge anyone else.
No.
Never acknowledges them.
This is for about a week. Next week, I'm gonna come in with shades on. Don't ask what happened.
Yo,
Don't worry
please.
about it. This guy comes to me I'm dropping my son off at school. I parked the car. I don't block the driveway. I don't block his driveway at all. He tells me, "Hey, you mind parking a little bit closer up?" Just that it was difficult for me to park my car in my driveway. I said, "Oh, are you the same person with the wife that came to my door that you guys put the cone in the garbage can in the parking spot?" He says, "Yes." I said, "Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Fuck
wouldn't
you."
do it
Get him,
either.
preach.
So then he says, "Hey, buddy." He's an older dude. Like,
Hey, buddy.
he looked like he was an amen. Like he's coming at me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you don't want no trouble with me, sir. You do not want any trouble with me."
Ooh.
I'm like, so I'm putting Mason in. I'm like, all right, fam. Well, okay. He's Uncle Ben's kind of like, you do
I
not want trouble
can't,
with me,
yo.
buddy. All right. Don't-
What?
He said a crazy saying. He says, "Don't bring worms you can't burn."
What the
That's
I
a
said,
threat.
what is it?
the-
What?
That's
What?
a
Don't
that's a
bring
threat.
worms.
Yo,
You can't burn.
home improvement
Bro.
sound effect.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's a threat.
Whoa.
And he's telling me, you don't want to mess with me, buddy. You do not want to mess with me.
Wow.
And that was my wife that came to you. I was like, oh, okay, well.
Yo.
He was going. He was
Earl
gonna
was
tear
ready
your
to
ass
tear
up.
your ass up.
So
bro.
then I'm pulling out, and then Mason yells, "You're going to lose."
Hilarious. Shout out to Mason with the participation.
Mason
Yes.
trying to get your ass kicked
This
out
family
here.
is strong unit. Yes.
Yo, Mason
Tight
was
knit.
like, "Show you're going to lose." And we
Yo.
pull off. And I'm so petty, I park exactly the same way in the same exact
No one
spot,
has to tell us
waiting
that
for
you're
him to say something to me. Yep.
No one has to tell us that you're petty. We know.
Yeah, listen, I could play that game all day. We got to get out of here, man. That was like,
I'm about to say super overtime.
Yo, what? All right, let's do our shout outs. Voice, you can start it off, sir.
Shout outs to a couple of people. Shout outs to, again, all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to Miss Barbie. Happy Mother's Day to my mother. Happy Mother's Day to everybody else. Shout out to Mr. Musclehead. He celebrated a birthday.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to
Definitely.
Musclehead.
Musclehead Skillet.
Yes.
He called me
on
up, man. What a
Saturday,
yo,
yes.
man. Good dude.
Yes, definitely shout outs. Actually, Friday was the 11th. Yeah. Definitely shout outs to him. All right. And shout outs to Oceanside. Shout outs to the family.
T Sprint, yes.
T Sprint. T Mobile. No Sprint going on in there.
All right, Crystal, shout outs.
I just want to shout out to everyone. I mean, I haven't been here for everyone who attended my party. Thank you guys so much. I had a great time, and I want to shout out to all the mothers. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I hope you don't have to cook, clean, or anything else today.
Peak of the party was your significant other dancing behind the food.
Yo,
Oh,
he
so
is so.
Yo,
Yo, did the floor move for anyone else? Yo, he's the man, bro.
we all held on like, what the
Yeah, I know, right?
what was that? Good God.
Yo,
all right, Vino,
Mr. Zig says overtime, but y'all started late.
Yeah, we see.
Ziggs, we'll do the count there. Yo, relax.
Holding us
You know what I mean?
accountable, yeah.
Exactly, yo.
Write us up later.
As always, shout out to Sweet Mama. And shout out to every other mama, indeed.
Yes.
Okay, it is your day. We appreciate you.
It's not Single Father's Day, though.
No, shout out to the single fathers, too.
Okay.
Shout out to them,
All
too.
right.
Is it okay? No one cares, but whatever.
Right.
Notice y'all not making a fuss about it. But anyway, we won't do that. Yeah, so that's that. Yes.
All right, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out the family. Shout out the new baby. Shout out all the listeners, everybody on the thread, all the viewers. We appreciate the love. It is overtime, so we end up out of here. Peace.